As long as I can stay on with you guys.
We're gonna try to break all the rules. All right, but before that,
Just one little binger to brighten up your day. Come on, man. Just one hit, and I gotta go.
You asshole.
I think we were talking about Major League for something, and I'm like, man, I wish I had a fucking Joe Boo figure, dude. Right? So I get a knock on my door, and there's this little package waiting there. This is fucking cool, dude. This is really cool. Check this out. It's fucking Serrano's locker, dude.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Right? And when you open it up, it's the locker. I got my own fucking Joe Boo.
Nice, dude.
Look at that shit, dude.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, bro.
what's up, everyone? Welcome to Beyond Wednesdays. So yeah, I guess we've all finished wrapping our presents and all that stuff, and then we're here chilling.
You wrap the presents?
No, dude, we didn't even set up a tree.
Oh my god, kind of missing the whole holiday there, pal. Wrapping gifts, trees,
Hey,
yachting lights.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you guys, man.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. How's it
Merry
going,
Christmas.
Richard?
And
Like I said, Joe did not even show up to the Christmas party.
hey, for all the devil worshippers out there, man, Merry Christmas.
Hey, you should have seen
We thank you.
his I should point the other way, but Homeboy's sweater last night at the Christmas party. I didn't realize it until he pointed out. Do you have it there? It's a pentagram and Satan. And
Yeah, I have. It has Baphomet on it,
Well, it's
and
just
then
like-
it has pentagrams. Like it's an ugly Christmas sweater. And
Bro,
then
it's
yeah,
yeah, like damn colorblind because I didn't even pick up on that part.
well, because it's all like black, gray,
Yeah.
and red.
Yeah, I was like, well, yeah, you got the red part right, I guess.
I'm just glad this fucking holiday's almost over with you. God damn, man.
Do you have to listen to Christmas music at work?
Bro.
That's a yes.
Yeah, dude, that was the one thing I hated about working retail. That would drive me insane, and like the soundtrack never changes for like a 4-hour period, so it's the same. Like by the time you hear that song twice, you know your shift is almost over. So.
I've learned to block that shit out, dude. You know,
Man, once I was working at Whole Foods, and they started playing Christmas music before Thanksgiving, like the beginning of November or some shit like that.
How much
And then-
Gene Autry did you need in your life?
And then we were telling customers that they're like, why are you playing Christmas music already? And we were like, well, if you complain in the front, like if enough people put notes in, they'll stop playing it. Like for real. Like, and they actually did. Like we got enough people to send in complaints to stop the Christmas music before Thanksgiving. So, and then they started like at the beginning of December.
Because what is it? Just corporate sends out like the same soundtrack and everyone's got it and just plays it continuously over and over and over again.
Yeah.
no, like so you can change out the music. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can.
You can find wires around it and then rewire your own phone to it. Or
No,
like
it's.
I mean, there's all kinds of tricks.
It's a music system or whatever, and you can fucking play country music. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they
If
have
you
like
wanted
different
to.
channels that are approved to play throughout the store or whatever.
You need to play South Park Christmas album.
Oh,
That would liven things up.
I always, trip out because where I work, it's like the busiest fucking place in the planet, dude. It's like a fucking Disney World in there,
Yeah.
and it trips me out that people just like look around like, what's going on in here? And I'm like, it's a day before a major holiday. You know, do you know where you are? Like, you know, it's just like, and it always amazes me, like, when people come in, they like don't know where the fuck they are and don't know where anything is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where's this? Where's
Like they've
this?
never
Where's
been
this?
there before in their
And I'm
entire life.
like,
It's like their first time there in
There's
the
an
store.
app. There's a map. Like, bro, like
Yeah, like the
big signs,
the big
on the
signs
aisles.
everywhere. That's
Oh,
saying
yeah,
what's
like-
on each aisle, and it's like kind of like, it's like, do you know how to read?
people refuse to look at markers, dude. They don't want to look at it. Like I said we should just blindfold everybody walking in. You know what I mean? And they're so, well, why do you want to blindfold them? I said, because they're not going to fucking look for anything. You know what I mean? So you might as well just pull their hand down every aisle. Here's what you're looking for. Can you feel that? Can you feel it? You know what I mean? They don't want to look. And I'm just
Dude,
like,
you should start doing mystery bags of groceries.
yeah, just like, where's bread? Right there. Where
With all the
it
other
starts
bread.
with a B. Hold on, I just so that I like, because maybe it's not there. Let me go double check. Even though it says bread, I'm gonna go with you. You know, and I hate it when they say, "Well, I
Where
was
else would it
just
be?
there and I didn't see it." Oh, okay.
You know, that's why
Fucking
Clerks, the movie, had it spot on. Because I mean, it like Joe, like we talked about, like working in like comics a long time ago. When Superman died, we put these huge signs outside the store, inside the store. We do not have any more issues of where Superman died. First person comes up, yeah, you want to choose where Superman died? Like,
It's like, yeah, we have the sign up here, but you know, we keep like 5 boxes in the back.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we put sold out. I don't want to. You guys have at least 1 or 2 copies back there,
right?
don't you?
Yeah.
Which
No.
printing?
No. Mm.
What you got in the glass there, pal?
Some Chardonnay. I'm a wuss.
I was wondering if you still drinking the Troy Aikman beer.
No, man, come on.
Wow.
Hey,
I'm just drinking.
got
a
Romo, bro. How about them Cowboys,
Cool.
baby? I got my Romo doll, my good luck doll.
So I was
you-
asking Yi before this. Did you watch the Giants Vikings?
I saw the score.
The 61-yard field goal with no time left to win it.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
it's not as bad as that Justin Tucker one against Detroit, bro, last year.
Well, usually
Dude.
the Vikings always have like someone who screws it up when it comes to kicking. Remember when they played the Falcons and Gary Anderson messed it up, and then like the Blair Walsh project. So it's usually always the kicker who fucks it up. And this time it actually came through. So Giants win next week against the Colts at home. They're in.
I just like the way the NFL will keep everybody in the playoff hunt. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Everybody's got a chance. They only got 2 wins, but this team's got a chance because the moon is aligned with Venus, and that if that
And then
team
magically they're-
loses and they tie, and that motherfucking shit will happen, bro.
Well, and then, you know, magically the entire team changes during playoffs.
Bro, how did the Browns lose to New Orleans, bro? Don't they have the massage therapist on
On speed dial?
on speed dial? Get him a therapist, bro.
I
He's
thought they
not
had
at
their
his
own
best.
office in the locker room. Allegedly, right? This is all allegedly.
Let the coach massage him, but Deshaun's
Joe,
gotta
you're
put-
talking like there's only one massage therapist. I think they're about 27.
yeah, but it just didn't it strike you funny that Deshaun had to bring his own fucking towel? You know, like
Is that the one
like
he
they
actually
didn't
still
have
has,
any.
like when he's wiping his hands, so like hold the
I
ball?
mean, you know, they must have been charging him a lot of money, dude. Like they couldn't have gone to like Ross and bought a couple of hand towels. Like, why does Deshaun got to bring his own fucking towel?
Apparently,
You
he
know,
doesn't have the all the
fucking
coupons you
millionaire.
get from Dick's on email. So.
Yeah.
I mean, he must like just keep like, you know, tons in like the trunk of his car, right, or something, allegedly.
Hey, look at
You might
this.
want to call your boy Kendall Fuller and or whatever his name
Will
is.
Fuller.
Will Fuller.
Should I just like text him and be like, hey, like, what's up with the towels?
Look at this.
When
What's
you
the
get
towel
that?
situation on the Texans?
Look at that. This came out in 1956.
Oh wait, let me put you on the big screen. Boom.
Walt Disney Chris. Look at the grade, man. I was thinking
It's
of cracking it open, man.
That looks
How
like
long you had it?
Huh?
How long have you had it?
Oh, I got this a couple of years ago, and I got it in San Antonio, and I got it for like $15, man.
Oh wow.
Jesus.
And dude, it's such a beautiful copy, dude. What year is it? 50,
56?
like 70 years old, bro.
Yeah.
Holy shit. But,
Just the cost of slabbing that.
yeah. So
Have you guys, how much y'all are watching eBay right now? So I was watching, so my big day is tomorrow for eBay. And like, you remember that Bounty Hunters 150? How hot that was for a while? The Boba Fett with Valance in the background, the top.
Uh-huh.
There was a 9.6 CGC went on auction, ended the other day at $66.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so like last night during the party, I was watching a grunt, an 82, or I think an 83 straight arm. I want to say like 11 back. And I missed it because again, things going on, and it ended up like $300.
damn.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So like tomorrow, I'm hoping that there's a lot of people doing other things and kind of forget about, a lot of auctions.
I gotta remember the site, dude. This will fucking blow your mind, Nate. And I gotta get it to Brian. There's a guy that does restoration on just about any fucking thing. And you guys might have seen him on YouTube, but he restores a Millennium Falcon that is fucking yellow as fucking urine, dude. Like he takes off all the stickers, unscrews every fucking piece, lays it out like a OCD maniac, and then has this tank that he fills it with 7% hydrogen peroxide, and he dips the whole fucking Falcon in there and all the parts and everything. Then he's got this glass, and then he takes these two UV blue light things and leaves it in there. He doesn't tell you how long he does it and all that, but it comes out this crispy fucking white Millennium Falcon. And then, of course, he's got the resto stickers and everything. He puts it all fucking back together. And it was just like, God damn, dude.
Wow.
It's better than it did back when we were kids.
Bro, it looked fucking brand new. And this dude restores anything. He'll take like junk, like an old Tonka truck from the 60s. He'll strip it down, and then he'll like powder coat it, and it looks better than what it did. He'll put lights on shit, and when I can remember the guy's name, like I'll get it to Brian, but he does X-Wing fighter. He does a couple of other vehicles from some R2D2s and shit like that. And
I thought about doing that. Do you remember the G.I. Joe Defiant, the space shuttle?
Oh yeah.
Because you had the basically kind of the rolling piece with the elevators, and you had the two ships, and that top ship, the white one, like mine is, parts of it look okay, and then other parts definitely a little more yellow. And I was like, man, everything still fits, everything's still good, but I'm like, if I could get it where just like a better white on the outside, like something like that, that process would be perfect for it. Then
dude, I'll send it to you, but. So like I used to restore shoes, and that's how I would get the oxidation off of the bottom of it's called icing the soles, right? And so you would get Salon Care 41, and then you would get some plastic wrap, and then you would put it in foil, and you put them shoes outside for about 3 days, and then the fucking soles will be white. Now these guys have like a chamber that they build with the UV lights, and they, of course, with that chemical, and they're able to deoxidize the soles of the shoes a lot faster. So,
oh wow. Oh, and then under controlled elements too.
Yeah.
Right,
and now like those guys are also like doing that shit with comics, and I'm like, yeah, dude, because like you don't want to put a chemical on a comic and then put like those UV lights, because you're gonna break down that paper, and I don't know, man.
Could dry out the paper too as
Fuck
well,
yeah,
right?
dude.
With that light, especially like I'm assuming that the light is probably like a decent, like at least 5 feet away from it, 3 feet away.
Yeah, because I'm on some pressing forums and whatever, and some guys are like, yeah, it works, and I was like, well, are you are you deoxidizing it because like it's yellow because it's fucking dirty? Like that book wasn't out in the sunlight, bro. Just fucking clean it. You know what I mean? And these guys have poor cleaning techniques that they're willing to like pour anything on there. Like I gotta get peroxide and I gotta some baking soda.
Hey Joe, I meant that last week I was going through pickups and I showed this one G.I. Joe figure, and I didn't know if just because like the way the paper and everything's kind of bending up, if there was anything that you could do for it when it comes to pressing.
Oh,
you know, so this Cobra eel, like right in here, it's kind of lifting up, and I didn't know if there's a way that you could actually kind of press this part down to kind of help seal it, but
hold it up the other way. Ooh,
yeah, I'm guessing probably not, but I just kind of
let me look at it. Is it by the bubble?
It starts right here by his foot.
Yeah.
And then it works its way to the bubble and underneath.
God, I would hate to fuck with it around the bubble, dude.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, so it was a really good deal. So I ended up getting it for $50. So it wasn't expensive. So even if you mess it up, it's fine. But I didn't know if that's something when it comes to pressing, or if there's a way to do it.
Send it to me.
Okay.
Ooh, the doctor's
let me
in.
see. Yeah. Well, I've done like my TIE Fighter box for my original TIE Fighter. I've done that. Like I'll flatten it out and then I'll put it in the lab and then I'll press the shit out of it.
And Jesse has a question. Can you see a layer in between the front and the back?
Yeah. You can see a little layer, I believe. Because it has the lift, so you can see the top part where like the white of the front of the card lifts up to where it's kind of separated. And this is the thicker part of the card where it gets into the back. But actually, I guess so. I guess
it's like a
no
slice.
middle. There's no middle layer, so it's two. It's the front and the back. So it's exactly. So it's almost like sliced.
So that honey hole that I used to go to closed down, but then it reopened for Christmas, right? And so now they're in a little like rental space or whatever.
Yeah.
And I walked in and they had like 10 comic boxes. And I was like, right, I couldn't wait. And I started digging and I pulled these old Jenny Friesen covers that are super fucking hard to find and fucking high grade, right? And then and I hit you up, Aaron. Dude, I couldn't believe it. And it was like the Avengers #8 first appearance of the Black Order. I got like 27 copies, dude.
You got a fan ready for them. Yeah.
So like and that's what I used to do back in the day, man. I just like I wouldn't take one. I said I'm gonna fucking take all of them, right? So I mean, like this book used to be what, a $50 book or whatever. I think it's like $20. But since Corus Glaive came back, right, in that Thanos story or whatever, so and there's a speculation on that other character too that came out in issue #2. So you never know.
Yeah.
So
all right. I want to thank Blind Adam from Awesome Sauce Radio for the $1.99 super sticker. So
how do you cash in the sticker?
I think it's the same way as super chats, right?
So what's the difference? Like, can we stick the sticker on anything, like, or is it like an NFT sticker?
That would actually be a really cool concept. That like if they do give you a sticker, it becomes like an NFT of some sort. And so like all these like content creators get NFTs for super stickers and all that stuff, and it's like almost like a badge of honor, right? Kind of thing.
Dude, I got my NFTs from the Cowboys Thanksgiving game the other day. I didn't realize they were giving out NFTs for the Thanksgiving game. Not that they're worth anything, but it's just like...
Well, so Do you remember how DC was giving out NFTs for signing up for their fandom that was online, like their DC fandom show?
Oh God, I forgot about that shit.
Did you know you can sell those now?
Yeah, well, I can sell. I can sell a lot of shit. I don't know. Is it actually worth? Like, you can actually get something for it?
It's like $15-$20.
I mean, it's something.
I mean, because like you got like 2 or whatever. Like, what's up, Solo Wookie?
Hey,
There he is.
Merry
Finally
Christmas.
changed that jersey. There's the Christmas gift right there. The Devils, El Diablo.
Hey, what's that guy's name? Binkman or Sid Binkman or whatever that stole that money from those people. What's his fucking name?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the guy that ran that Ponzi scheme and took like $650 million from Tom Brady and what is
Dude,
it?
after Ponzi schemes with the Mets, I've kind of like
No. So
that's
like
the only one I know of.
Sid Beekman, what's his fucking name, dude? He just got bailed out.
Uncle Sam?
No, he just got bailed out of jail. He's a young guy with he's kind of weird. He's got curly hair or whatever. And he got bailed out of jail for $250 million, bro.
Oh wow.
Sam
and he
Bankman.
Sam Bankman-Fried or whatever.
Yeah.
250 million, dude. Like bail. Yeah, Sam Bankman. Thanks, Jesse.
Steve Cohen could afford it.
Yeah, Bankman. Bro, 250 million. Now, is it 10% of that? Right?
Is it 10% of that, or is that the figure after the 10%?
Man, I don't know. But
Well,
that motherfucker, hey, he ain't sticking around for a trial, bro.
Well,
if they're
I guess it
bailing him
depends.
out like that.
Well, it depends on what he did, right?
Well, it depends on whether or
he
not
he embezzled money and stole from his clients and
Oh, okay. So he's on the private jet now to another.
so many famous
undisclosed
people.
location.
Like he took a lot of money from a shitload of famous people, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's why Brady had to come back, dude. And I think that's why his wife dumped him because he lost all that money.
Like, who does he know? Because like Bernie Madoff with the Mets, so he ended up in prison in Raleigh, North Carolina, and then got killed or died, I should say.
Killed.
Well, it definitely wasn't Bobby Bonilla hitting him, that's for sure. So obviously he's probably got the goods on somebody, especially if you're doing $250 million as bail. I mean, the only people who can afford that are Joe.
No, they said his parents are well off. His parents fucking bailed him
well
out,
off.
dude.
There are people who are well off, and there's people like $250 million is that's not well off. That's just
so I think if anybody knows, I think it's 10% of that shit.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
they put it down, but
they always
$25 million.
I think Eric's right. He got bonded out, so it's not actual bail. They put up the bond.
Oh, they put up a bond. Excuse me.
Yeah, collateral. Well, and it fanatical. Lawyers. There's a fanatical difference. And that, I mean, to all of us, it's, I don't have 250,000, let alone 2.5 million. Either way, I'm ditching the country.
Yeah, dude.
Let me sell a couple of kidneys real quick.
If you got that much money, you could do a fucking face off, right? Like Travolta and Nick Cage or whatever. Take it all off.
God, that was the worst movie ever. The whole thing about that.
Yeah, dude.
Oh dang, Chad Cave.
Look at that.
Sending a $20
super sticker.
Fucking A, man. What's up, Chad? Merry Christmas, brother. I remember Chad used to pick on me, dude, when I first got on this shit, dude. What's up with this motherfucker, man?
Or maybe
he picks on everybody.
Maybe just grew thicker skin from just being on all these podcasts.
Yeah, Aaron would have to calm me down. You guys just don't know, man. I came into this thing so raw, and Aaron's always chill. He said, "Man, don't worry about it. You're fine. You're doing good." And I'll be like, "Fuck that dude! I'm gonna kill him."
I think I just hung out with like way too many hippies in my time, or something.
I'll tell you, you give Aaron about a half bottle of Woodford, and he's even more chill. Actually,
bro, I would read the comments on YouTube.
You can't tell what I'm on ever.
I couldn't. That's
my superpower.
Hasn't changed.
That's my exact superpower. It could be like almost anything, and you never know. But
I would
Now
read
you
the
know.
comments on YouTube and I'd go attack, bro. Like, and they were saying, like, no, you don't do that. I said, what do you mean? They put it on there. I'm going to respond. And I remember Nico, nah, don't do that. And I would just get into like,
Joe, did you tell him you got a little Italian in your blood? That's just
nah, man. It's just like some people would just like say random shit. I like the show, but I totally disagree with Red Hood and what he said. I was like, fuck you, bitch. Hope you die. I'll fucking kill you. But yeah, man.
I guess we are trying to break all the rules tonight, right?
Yeah, I'm about to say what videos are going to play so that way Brian can get a couple strikes.
No.
I'm not that fancy with the whole like with the how he's able to play sound and stuff like that. I got to figure out how he does that. Like I have no idea.
Hey, shout out to McClay, man. I hope you're feeling better, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
I sent him a Christmas present. I know he got it because I saw it that it hand delivered to a resident. So
yeah, that's what happened with Deshaun Watson's presents, right? Hand delivered.
Did it come with a towel, or did he have to bring it?
Yeah, what did you send him, Joe?
I sent him Bigfoot's dick, bro. I sent him the Sex Panther, dude.
Oh, that's great.
Hey,
Mama
like
Comics. Good to see Lucy. Hope her and her family are having a great holiday.
Dude, I got my Secret Santa gift in. It was such a secret. It was made out to Andrew Yee.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I have no idea what's in it. So, because I'm, it's a present I'm opening during near Nirvana.
What's the date we're opening it up?
I think it's January 6th.
Okay, I'm gonna have to rewrap it. I'm just kidding. I haven't gotten it yet.
That's great.
That's funny.
January 6th? That's kind of late for a Christmas unveiling.
Yeah.
That is true, right?
Yeah.
Well,
weird.
I guess you get past Christmas and New Year's, you got to have something to do. So,
well, I'll be 48 by then. Jeez.
Well, then we're the same age.
Yeah. Well, I don't turn 48 until the 4th. So,
well, I've got a couple months on you, but yeah, might as well say 50. Round up.
That's how old you are, Nate? 50?
Mm-hmm.
You're 50?
Basically, yeah.
Well, you were born in 72?
75. I just round up. It's easier that way. Math is math. It's just 50, and it'll be 90. And like my mom turns 80 in January. I was like, and so I was home 2 weeks ago. I'm like, 80? Shit, that's a new 100. Congratulations. I was like, you don't look a day under 110.
That's it.
Man, it's so quiet, dude. Like I'm used to my boys like making a lot of noise and having all their friends over here. Now they're adults and they have jobs and like like it's fucking great. It's just weird, man. You know,
dude. I can send a 5-year-old over your house if you want some noise.
Fuck that.
I tried to give him to Aaron last night, and Aaron was not partaking either.
I was like, I don't have a ring. Like, there's a reason for that, and I don't.
You don't need a ring to have a 5-year-old,
but I don't need someone else's kids.
You heard it, ladies. That Yee, man, he's a player. No ring on that finger.
There's a bunch of ladies that should be having my baby. Wow.
So I was actually asking Yee. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
How's your guys' weather down in?
Freezing.
You guys are a little more south, right?
It's fucking cold, dude.
Freezing.
I have no idea what temperature it is right now. It's 30.
It's cold.
Yeah. For cold. Texas, that's pretty cold.
Yeah,
cold. Dude. We're not used to this shit, dude. We're used to like 90. Last year it was like 85 on Christmas, dude.
Oh, that is true.
People were going to the beach.
I think I saw on Tuesday. It goes
Christmas,
from,
bro.
It goes from literally the low being 30 to 60. And it goes from the high being like 30 to 70. Like it literally shifts on like Tuesday completely. So you get back to playing golf.
You know what's weird with weather? There's like this feels like temperature now, right? It's no longer the temperature anymore. It fucking feels like it's 30 degrees, but it feels like 7. Like Like how do you quantify that? You know, like you go out, it
It's
feels like
95,
it's
but it
fucking
feels
cold.
like
That's what
it's
it feels
103.
like.
I think if you're a guy, you can identify pretty quickly, like the shrivel effect.
Right.
Well, a big shout out to everyone on the East Coast and Midwest, and stay safe and warm. We are thinking about you, and I know there's a lot of power out, and there's a lot of problems on the East
fuck
Coast
that.
and weather. New York's underwater. I hope to God that it drains before it freezes. And just so everybody out there knows, on this channel, we are thinking about you and hoping you're all staying safe out there and warm.
Yeah,
I was looking at Chad's comment. He
fucking
said he's got
horrible,
down to single digits this morning in North Carolina and lost power.
Yeah.
Hey, I used to live in North
Most of-
Carolina, Chad.
Most of North Carolina they're right now getting hit the worst with the power outages, is what I was hearing. So stay
Don't worry
safe
about
and
that.
warm. I mean,
They're worried about that here in Houston. Like,
Yeah.
there might be weird power outages because of the low temperatures, and then because we're also generating more power from like Christmas lights.
Yep.
We were actually getting texts about our water because keeping all the faucets and everything going. So,
so
Anna was like, we're going through so many gallons of water per hour. I'm like, it is what it is. So the pipes don't freeze. So, and then I was like, check with the neighbors, see if they got the same thing. And I went up and checked the pipes this morning or before the show. I'm like, everything's good. I was just like, it is what it is. You know? Just,
I mean, you'd rather have all those that water bill than
you don't want to freeze in the pipe. So
water pipe repair bills, like those.
I was watching news clips, and this couple up in I'm not even sure where they were, Minnesota, South Dakota kind of area, and Wisconsin maybe, and they added the slow trickle on for the water so it wouldn't freeze, and it was just stacking a big old cone of ice in the sink.
That's
like
incredible.
It was just freezing and building up in this thing. I was like, oh man, I do not miss North Dakota. My days in North Dakota were like that, and it's brutal.
Dude, I lived in Providence, Rhode Island a little bit before I moved here, and I never figured out exactly. So I remember taking the train up from New York in February, and it happened to be like 60 degrees. I'm like, oh, it doesn't get cold in Rhode Island. I'm like, I went up in February, 6 degrees. It's beautiful. Joke's on me.
Yeah.
I go to work the first day. I can't figure out why everybody has their windshield wipers pulled up from their car or from the windshield every day. I was like, what's going on? They're like, you'll learn. Can't park on the roads because the snow plows are just buried. And I was like, all right, man, this isn't going to work. I was like, it's just a totally different environment. And guys from Chicago would fly to Rhode Island to warm up. I was like, okay, I'm not moving to Chicago. That's not going to work.
Yeah, I went to Chicago in like October, and I was cold. Like, and people were laughing at me. I was like, kind of like, it was like 50 or 60. I was like, I was like, yeah, I'm wearing a hood.
That's not cold there.
Yeah, I know. I know it's not cold there. I was like, we gotta understand that I'm from South in Texas. Like, I was like, that is like freezing to me because it's never that temperature.
Dude, you go to a Cubs game and you'll find like all the guys, like the heaters are in the bathroom, or where you can feel the heat's in the bathroom. And so you'll see people just kind of flood, and all of a sudden, like the bathrooms are just full in Wrigley because that's the only place you can actually get under the heat vents.
Everybody's pissing on each other. Oh, that's warm.
Hey, that's another way to warm up.
It's so warm.
Wrigleyville, it's unique.
Oh, Jesus.
So, any news, anything this week? I mean,
I think you got cast as a new Superman.
Huh?
Oh yeah, that role's available.
Superman.
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah.
No,
Joe?
Who did they cast?
You.
Nah.
They didn't tell you?
Nah, they
Merry
wouldn't.
Christmas.
you didn't get a call from James Gunn?
Nah.
I thought you were buddies.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Well,
Nah,
was it
man.
allegedly?
Who knows what the fuck he's got planned? You know what I mean? Like,
no, I just can't figure it out. Like, we were talking about last week about if you get rid of everybody, but they still have. All right, so I saw it today, like Batman 2, The Flash. I mean, there were a couple of series or a couple of movies already coming out. They're going to keep everybody. So I'm like, so when's the clean state actually kind of start?
Oh yeah.
Right? Because if you're gonna wipe the slate, wipe everybody.
Just
Superman and wipe everybody else. Like
it's like, hey, that movie that you're gonna pay and buy tickets to, it don't mean nothing though. You know what I mean? So don't be invested in it. Go and see it because it's going to be good.
This is our
But
startup
watch it
campaign
twice.
fund.
Bring your family.
but it's not going to be no. It's
Yeah.
it's
Well-
like you're watching a one-off. You know
Well-
what I mean?
Did you hear that he was supposed to start working closely with Jim Lee on
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
directions of stuff? I mean, is that good or bad? I don't know.
I think
mean, at
it's,
least-
I would take it as a good sign, just because at least if you got the books and
Yeah.
the guys doing the production on the movies and the film and theater, like at least they're in coordination and kind of understand, like, hey, this is what we're going to be doing with the storyline. So if you want to pick it up, it's
Yeah.
there or improvise. I mean, as opposed to them being completely different opposite directions.
Well,
Well,
it's
I
like,
would think-
or where people are proud and bragging, saying like, "Oh, I had never read a blah 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 comic."
Yeah,
before."
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
was
I
it
would
Tiki
think your
Watiti or whatever his name is?
But
Your
it's not
your
only him.
storyboard
but
should
there's
be
lots
on
of-
point.
Yeah.
Hey,
Your
how
storyboards, I mean, should be very explicit and easy to read.
Yeah,
If
open
Right,
the
Jimmy's
book,
in there
page 4.
helping
Here
you.
you go, pal.
Yeah.
We've already done it for you.
Yeah.
How much
or
money
even
did-
just
cover
like
art
this.
influence, cover art influence too, for like
Yeah.
movie
Movie posters?
posters, just like, or it just even imagery within the shots.
Hey, how much money did Avatar lose, bro?
I thought it was supposed to make like $2 billion, or it needed to make $2 billion to
When
break
did it
even.
start? Is it this weekend?
It started
No,
last
it
weekend
started
or the
last
weekend
week.
before.
Yeah, that tells you right there. Like, I mean, does anyone when you go, what is it, 13 years or 12 years between movies? It's
Let's make Caddyshack 3.
They're
Right.
doing the Star Wars treatment to Avatar. Let them do Disney.
Dancing.
They're gonna put a
with
Jar
Smurfs
Jar in
and
Avatar?
Ferngully. I didn't like the first
I don't remember. Like, I remember watching the first one, but I don't remember
Oh,
actually being like, man, the
terrible.
story's just incredible. Blah blah blah. I remember like
I was too
felt like
fucked
it was
up
a
to
whole
remember what
3D
happened.
thing. Everyone wanted to make the 3D thing such a big concept, but
Oh,
you remember mid 80s, you know, the 3D movies, like everyone's like, oh, everything's gonna be 3D. And I was like, it's just like the same thing that happened in the 80s. It happened in 2012 and it died immediately.
yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'll tell you what I did watch that is halfway decent is National Treasure
Oh,
on
was that?
Disney. It's good, man.
I
So
saw it
it's
too.
kind of like every Wednesday they're dropping a new episode. They're into episode 3 already. It's
Okay.
pretty good, man. It's got Catherine Zeta-Jones, Mama, and and it's got Catherine
Isn't she in
Zeta-Jones.
Wednesday in the
Yeah,
Netflix series as
She
the
is in
mom,
one- Yep,
Morticia?
as Morticia, and then it's Luis Guzman as
Yeah, Luis Guzman.
Fester?
Adams.
Oh,
No. Fred Astaire is Fester
Oh,
or
yeah.
Emerson.
I hear that
Yeah.
show's really good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. I like
Yeah.
it a lot.
It-
Yeah, it's like in the same vein
different.
as like Sabrina or Riverdale. Like
I
yeah,
like
it
the
feels
first couple
tough.
seasons of Riverdale. I kind of fell off after a little bit.
Gomez there. Thank you.
Gomez.
Yeah, Luis Guzman is Gomez.
That's decent. It's not too bad a show. It's they definitely changed up some stuff from the traditional Wednesday, but it was I thought all the acting in it was really I was surprised. I wasn't expecting that quality and level of acting in it. And I thought that acting in it was really spot on. I thought they just really it feels like everybody really embodies their own character. And I was
Right.
really impressed with that.
Well, but then you could tell like the writers or the directors and stuff like that were fans of the original show and stuff like that, where you get like origins of like where the snap comes from. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was really cool how they tied in a lot of that old stuff and old
I like the
lore.
updated thing with like all the stitches on it.
Yeah, Thing was the best part of the whole show. Thing
Yeah.
was by far my favorite.
How many episodes are there?
I think it's
9?
only like 8 or 9. Yeah.
Good. Okay. All right.
Yeah. It's bingeable.
It's worth a watch.
Yeah. Because I was struggling to kind of find something new, and someone had mentioned Wednesday last week, and I was like, Wednesday? They're like, Adam's Family.
Yeah, National Treasure has Harvey Keitel, and so they kind of like tie in the National Treasure with the old one with Nick Cage, and this one using Harvey Keitel as the bridge for both which I thought was pretty cool. So
Let's check
Yeah,
that
I
out.
only saw a little clip, but I was kind of impressed with what they did from the clip that I saw of it. The little excerpt, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes.
But yeah, dude, and Disney's real slick, right? Because at the end of episode 3, episode 4 is not till next week, but then on it puts the National Treasure, like if you want to like go to the movie, and it's just like to make
Oh,
it. You know
okay.
what? I think
They
I'll watch
keep-
this.
They do that with Willow too.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
At
Oh,
the
after
end-
you finish any program,
Smart.
or
any
like,
episode of Willow, it automatically kicks up the old Willow movie and like,
well,
hey,
after
go
it-
check out the original.
Well, after the last episode of Andor, like, can't you watch like Rogue One or
Rogue
something?
One.
yeah.
You know?
And the thing is, the weird part, I don't know if it happens with you guys. I watch Andor, and it'll go through a couple of, it won't go through the entire series. It won't flow. It'll end after like 4 episodes. And then if you like this, Rogue One.
Mm.
Like most of them always go through like the entire thing. Actually, it's weird with like Netflix. Like, I don't know if you have, like Klaus is like their original like Christmas movie. And it's like for the kids. So I watch it with my son. I've watched it like 10 times and it never comes up as, do you want to rewatch it again? Or it's a favorite or popular? Like, I don't know. I think it's like the AI is off a little bit.
Well, and stuff like you're talking about, I've noticed a lot of stuff disappearing. Where normally it's like, oh, you can, you know what I mean? Like previously watched or saw before.
Yeah.
And now it's just gone. It's like, and you got to go in and search for it. It's
I
like
want
they
you to-
take it out of the whole
I want you to
bank
watch
try and-
this.
Yeah, and push a whole new line of shit
You
on
watched
you.
this a long time ago. You want to watch Willow. Joe, I know that you like Guns N' Roses. Here is Melissa Etheridge live.
Hey, you know what?
right.
I saw her in concert with the Eagles and the Hell Freezes Over tour.
Hell would have to freeze over for me to be at that tour.
And the Eagles were badass, bro.
Dude,
And
they have one song, and that song sucks. It is
It's gotta
the
be
worst
like-
song. I don't understand how everyone likes that damn song.
The one that's like 12 minutes long.
It's brutal.
Dude,
what
I
song
can,
are we
I
talking
can name
about?
like
Hotel California. Holy
I can
shit.
name like
It's the worst song.
I named like 10 or 15 songs off the top of my head that the Eagles did.
I can only name
were
that song.
huge hits.
Oh
Now,
my god!
I
bro.
will agree with you. I am not an Eagles fan, but I do understand and I love the aspect of who they are, what they started, and how incredibly talented that band is. But if you've been in construction for longer than a week of your life, you have heard more Eagles than, I mean, there's certain bands you don't listen to anymore and you will never buy the album because that's all you hear on classic rock radio every day, all day
Same thing.
long. And you just get burnt out and you can't
I
do it anymore.
I totally get that, but go see him in concert is like,
That much better.
oh
The
man,
live experience.
it's like I wasn't a Fleetwood Mac fan, so me and my wife, we went to Jazz Fest in New Orleans, bro.
Mhm.
They fucking
Yep.
put on a show, dude. And if you guys have ever been to Jazz, they got like 6 bands playing at one time, right?
Yeah.
They had Hall & Oates over there. They had Frank
Hall & Oates
is a
Ocean
great
band.
and they
Underrated.
had Billy Joel in the back, but Stevie Nicks, man, she started playing her solo shit, and she was just going off, and her ex was just fucking banging out on the guitar, and I was like,
He just
God
passed
damn,
away.
this is a bad motherfucker, man.
He just passed away like a month ago.
Yeah,
Dude, it's crazy how like some bands are so much better live than they are in like. So a buddy of mine, he had gone to see Tesla a long time ago.
Oh,
And he was like,
man.
"I'm telling you, man, you see them live," and then he actually called them live, and they played acoustic.
That's
And
they're
for
amazing.
anyone who knows like the 5-minute acoustical jam album back in there, I guess 91,
Yep.
it did change things. Like, and obviously the best part was it wasn't a lot of their music, but it's a great album.
So I told my
They're
band,
really good.
I
band.
told my band that we need to do a song like Spinal Tap does, where it's just basses.
11.
I would say, Hartman. So I went and saw Oysterhead, and I went with buddy of mine's a big fish fan, and I wouldn't have gone to watch it, but it was actually a really good concert. Like listen to him live, because he had Les Claypool and Trey, and I think the drummer from the Police. I think that was the 3 guys for Oysterhead.
No. I'll tell you, if you want to watch, I'm kind of a music aficionado. Like I've always been an audiophile where I can't consume enough of the music, and I love the behind the scenes. I love behind the stories and stuff. And there's a guy called the Professor of Rock on YouTube, and his show is amazing. I just recently found him, and I've just been going through all of his backlog of stuff. That guy does interviews with everybody, and he does a lot of classic rock up in 80s up into the 90s, and if you like music or like the behind the scenes VH1s back in the day or any of that, you'll
great.
love it. Professor of Rock, go check out on YouTube Professor of Rock. You will absolutely love that channel. It is amazing good. The knowledge he has about how songs got made and the story behind the lyrics and how they just evolved, and oh man, it's incredibly entertaining.
Solo, what was your first concert? Tony,
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, the Victory Tour,
84, the Pepsi
Bro,
cans. We
are
had
you
the
fucking
singers and all
serious?
the, yeah, that's
so
awesome.
I got to see
Bro.
the Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson do the entire Thriller album all
That
at
is
once.
awesome.
Now at the time I didn't realize about the Jackson 5 because I was still not quite musically.
Was Tito your
experienced.
favorite?
Absolutely. So I didn't realize at the time, but now looking back, because I am a bigger Jackson 5 fan with some of their hits and going back and studying the music, the fact that I got to see the Jackson 5, I mean, that you don't go out in the street and run into a lot of people that got to see Jackson
That's
5
awesome.
Hey, bro,
or the Thriller album.
bro, download the Victory album, and
It's incredible.
Torture. You remember
yours,
Torture?
Yep.
Who was yours, Red Hood? Who was
My
your
first
one?
guy, believe it or not, I went to a concert with this girl. Well, she was my ex, but she hustled me, and I slippery when
wet, please. Oh my god,
Nice.
dude. How
Nice,
much?
good tour.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
By the way,
And
Still.
Rat opened for him, bro.
Oh,
Victory,
wow.
God.
Victory
What-
Tour,
Round and round.
Did they have so Warren
still the-
DiMartino
still the best concert I've ever seen. Out
was
of
Robin
all the
Crosby
concerts
dead
I've been.
at that time?
Who?
Robin Crosby is the guy who dated Tawny Katane before Chuck Finley got
Oh,
beat up.
that's
by her.
right. Yeah, everybody dated Tawny Katane, man.
Yeah, and then Warren DiMartino, and then he had Juan Cruces, I think, on bass, and then Bobby. I'm trying to remember the drummer's name because I remember he and Stephen Piercy used to get into it all the time because Stephen Piercy would go on stage. How you doing, Detroit? We're in Canada, and they just Piercy had no idea of like a lot of things, and
He was.
I think
jacked up.
they batted heads a lot.
Yeah.
Hey,
Warren DiMartino was a stud.
Awesome Sauce put on there. He goes, like, Behind the Music is one of the greatest documentary
was.
series.
Yeah,
Bro,
absolutely.
did you guys ever see the one with Leif Garrett, dude?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so Leif Garrett was like a Justin Bieber kind of like, he was like just like up there, man. He was just like a teen heartthrob or whatever. And he got fucked up, and he had his buddy in the car with him and paralyzed him, and it fucked him up, and he was on the path to being like a superstar, not just like
When
like,
was this? I never heard of the guy.
So
all.
look it up, Leif Garrett.
Leif Garrett.
Yeah, so Behind the Music, that's when I started watching it, because that was like one of the first docs that I saw, and it was fucking awesome, dude. And then of course they did Guns N' Roses, and
They got into all the hair bands and metal bands. I tell you, one of the best ones is the Go-Go's.
Oh
They
yeah.
start
yeah.
talking about all the
Go-Go's.
girls back then, like the infighting and Belinda
Oh, yeah.
Carlisle. I mean, like it's
really,
Yeah.
the drug abuse, the
Yeah.
craziness, the partying, the late nights.
You know, you're so used to like the Motley Crue and like Nikki Sixx and Tommy Lee with the girls and like these guys, and then it's the complete opposite with the Go-Go's. Like, I want that guy. I want that. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I was like, where were we? It's like,
yeah, they were
Man,
crazy.
that was a great
Yeah,
time for
they were
music,
nuts.
dude. MTV, man, it just all the videos and man, it was just awesome, dude. Like, because there was no social media at the time, and like that's how like bands got.
That's how you
big and-
found out, right?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but
And
do
then you talked
remember,
about
like,
it at
growing
school
up?
the next day, right?
So you're so young, whippersnappers. So like the three of us, do you remember like no one had MTV? Like I remember we had to go down to the beach, like Hilton Head or something like that, and that's the only time you'd see MTV. And they only had like 15 videos, so it was rotating. So you see like was it Corey Hart, like I wear my sunglasses at night,
Mhm.
Rod Stewart, The Cars,
Pat
Dire
Benatar.
Straits, Rat, Round and Round. I mean, it was like the same. Quite right. There was only a handful of videos, and you saw them
Devo.
over and over again.
Devo, Pat Benatar,
Devo.
Video
So
Killed
if-
the
You're
Radio
with me?
Star.
if you had the TV where you changed it, you remember, like
I had one of
there
those.
was a way you would turn the knob, you'd turn it to channel 7, and then you would just turn the knob about 20 million times, and then the screen would
The
morph
VHF,
into
the UHF?
MTV, man.
Shit, you had knobs? You were high
Yeah.
class. You were one of the richer.
Bro.
We had some vice grips up on there, and you just had to give her a little.
Bro,
like
some
the
pliers,
knob
bro,
had broke
the
off a
plastic
lot.
broke off.
Oh, you had to get the vice grips and just give her a little. Dink.
That totally blew my mind when they came out with the VCR, and I go, wait a minute. So you can get the movie on a tape and put it in and watch the whole fucking movie
Yeah.
with no commercials? Get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, what a concept, dude.
You know those big metal
'cause-
contraptions?
yeah, when I remember, because you remember when the mall was a big thing, right?
Mhm.
They had the laser disc place where they sold VCRs and everything. VCRs were fucking $1,000 back
Yeah,
then.
They
And
were.
I would just look at all the movies and I was fuck, man, how do I steal one of these fucking things, man?
Hey, do you remember if you had
my-
one? Wait a minute, you're telling me I can watch Miami Vice and I can record every episode and just watch it over again?
Yeah, so my cousin, his dad had money, right? So his fat ass would sit in a recliner and had this remote connected to a cord.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And,
Yeah,
"Hey, look
yeah.
at this. I'm gonna rewind this.
Yeah.
I said, you fat motherfucker. I hope you fucking fall and break your leg and gravy pours out. You know?
Merry Christmas.
So my cousin owned a store called Audio Junction, and we spent a ton of time at my cousin's house. He was very innovative in all of the, stereos, VCRs, TVs, and stuff. So the first time, like when shit was coming out brand new, like when Beta came out and it was brand new, he had a Beta before, and brought it home and was watching Beta tapes. I remember watching Beta movies long before the VCR, VHS. And then, of
Which
course,
one
you
had
got
better
the
quality?
newer-
Which
he
one was
had the
better
newer
quality?
VHS. VHS, but it was not necessarily because of the tapes. It was because by then the technology and the tape readers had cleaned up and advanced.
Okay.
So it wasn't a big misconception that I believe in the comparison of Beta to VHS. It wasn't ever that one was better than the other. It was that the earlier Beta technology was so new. It's kind of like today. You buy a laptop, you take it home, you plug it in, you're outdated. I mean, it's that quick. Back then, it took a year or two, but 2 years later when VHSs start coming out, the technology they already took apart all the Beta machines and said, okay, here's what they did wrong. So by then
I
they
think like
clean
with
up the
technology
heads to read it better.
Yeah. With technology now is like 1 week or 2 weeks before like it becomes outdated now at this point.
Yeah, it's obsolete. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when it was like as long as a month, 6 months, sometimes even a year, depending on what it was.
Well, and one of the first things that he got when he brought home was that blew my mind was the original laser discs. It was the size of a record, fucking huge. And I mean,
I always think of
they were
SLC
very
Punk.
limited.
There's a movie on there.
Yeah, and you actually, here's the crazy part: halfway through it, you'd have to flip some of them over.
Oh yeah,
on the laser discs and play it again, and it'd do it the rest. But the clarity on it and everything was just mind blowing. And the fact that you had a fucking LP, man, it was a fucking Christmas dinner plate
and most of,
laser disc.
Most of the laser discs had the letterbox. You remember the letterbox?
Oh,
was
yeah.
the big thing. Now it's like it's standard viewing now. Like for years we didn't know that like things were cut off to fit a TV, right? That kind of if we stretch it out, you can see all the characters. You're what the fuck? I've been cheated out of all this shit. And
You've been Star Wars for years.
I was like, motherfucker, there he is. They made that figure. Now I know that he was in the movie, man. Stretched it out. And I was like, what the fuck? And so that became a thing. It was like, man, I was throwing out all the movie. All this has got to be letterbox. Going to is it letterbox? All psycho.
Well, and now, I mean, you get the options. You can have letterbox. You can have full screen. You can have the fatter, wider letterbox. You can get, 16:9 with the fuck, man. It's amazing. But yeah,
I hated how
childhood.
Disney Plus had The Simpsons in what was it like that 4:3 ratio?
Oh yeah.
Which like you miss half the jokes when it's like when that show is cropped, basically, right? Like because like
wait.
Yeah.
Did you two ever tell us your first concert, Nate?
Yeah.
No,
Nate,
I was actually gonna ask you.
Okay. You want me to go or did you want to go? Okay. So
it's gonna be hard to top these guys. I'll tell you that. I think they've already taken the cake.
Yeah, I think my parent or like my mom took me to meet who was it? Barry Manilow, like when I was super, super young. And then
I'll bet that was a damn good show.
So I was like 1 and he was like he was like doing a signing somewhere or something like that, like making an appearance on the mall. And then like they were playing his music. And so I was always told I was dancing to his music and he said something about it.
Hey kid, stop.
And then
stop right now. Show's over.
I write the songs, damn it, not the dance hits. Quit your wiggling.
And then when I was like a teenager going to shows with friends, my first show was the Dead Kennedys without Jello Biafra.
Yeah.
So
I never got to see them. That would have been a killer show.
Yeah, so that was a good. So it was all the other original members, like guitarist, bass, drummer. So it was a pretty good show.
Speaking of the Dead Kennedys, when I was in high school, everybody's got that buddy that's got all the cool shit, right? And he goes, "Hey man, I got a new album. You got to see this, right?" So we'd walk from football practice, right? And he lived probably about 1.5 miles from the school. So we get there and he goes, "Man, this is Dead Kennedys," right? And I wasn't into that punk shit, It was just like, but he was. It was like, man, it's awesome. And I was like, it's all right. And then so every other week he goes, "My mom got me a new album," and I go, "Okay, what is it?" So I go over there and like it's shit I'd never heard before, and I'm just like, "What the fuck?" And I go, "Who the fuck are those guys, dude?" He pulls out NWA, bro. This is the first time and I was like, "Holy shit, man!" Fucking blew my mind. They're all fuck the police, man. Fuck. I was like, damn. Like, and it was just like unreal, dude. I felt like Forrest Gump bumping into Elvis kind of moment. You know what I mean? Show me how you do that little dance. And it was just kind of like, man, that was kind of like historic. First listening to NWA because now it's legendary, man.
Yeah.
What about you, Nate? What was your what's your first concert?
That was my question. Like, I remember my parents took me like see Diana Ross back when I was like 7.
Man.
So I don't really count. Yeah, well, it gets worse if you actually want to do like Broadway because I got flown to see Phantom of the Opera with the original cast
Wow.
And this is, you gotta remember, there's no transparency for airline tickets at the time. So my mom was like, she told my dad, plain and simple, she's like, my son is not going to see Phantom of the Opera with whoever the second person was. She's like, he's going to see it with the original cast. And so she flew me up there. We had like dinner at Windows in the World of the Twin Towers. And then we saw Phantom of the Opera the next night and flew back to North Carolina back when I was in 7th grade. But that was with Michael Crawford as Phantom. And but like first like true concert would have been Lollapalooza in 92. I think the Pumpkins were like the main band.
Oh, nice.
Siamese Dream.
Okay, so that would have been the one after. So
I think it's 92.
No, that would have been, was that 90? No, that was because 92, the headliner, well, at least in Colorado, the headliners were
there could have been bigger headliners.
Primus, Alice in Chains, Babes in Toyland, Tool.
Yeah.
In fact, that was the first show that I ever saw Tool, and they were second stage. And I could sit there and smack Maynard.
I remember
right
what
there
Alice in
on the
Chains, and I think it was 92.
And,
I remember I saw Metallica and Charlotte. No, I'll take it back. Metallica and Charlotte, because I did that when I was a sophomore. I think sophomore in high school is the Black Album, like 91.
So that one came out
92.
in 91.
And we did like Lollapalooza, but we're going to the beach. I can't remember if it was like 93 or 92. Because we went down to Edisto Island afterwards.
Chad said Nate is bougie as fuck.
I don't even know what bougie means.
Fancy,
fancy pants, Mr.
Caviar.
Oh yeah,
and Chardonnay.
Yeah, Enchante. Yeah, there's definitely truth to that.
The caviar was good at your party last night, so like
wipers.
That's awesome that you got to go see fucking Broadway, though. I've been to Manhattan and everything. I never got to see fucking Broadway.
Yeah, well, I think it's all about Juju. My mom is literally, well, now she's 4'6" or 4'7" when I was home. Because she's 55 inches, but like when I was growing up, she is 5 feet tall, maybe 100 pounds. All my buddies scared to death of her. There's one person who rules, and she makes the rules. Make no mistake about it. She's the Southern Belle, and this is going to happen. Period. This is how it's going to happen. That's it. So, what her rules are, that's kind of exactly how it works. So,
hey guys, I got to jump, man.
Are you got to put the Christmas album back on?
No,
let's restart it.
I love you guys, man. Merry Christmas to everybody. Have a blessed and safe day, and hopefully you guys get everything that you want tomorrow or tonight.
Oh yeah. Oh, do you want to see what
are you winking at your wife right now? Like,
do you want to see what like my brother got me? Because he works overnight. We exchanged gifts this morning.
Okay.
Real quick before you head out. So you know how I'm collecting the Jaw rainbow, right?
Oh yeah.
So
here it comes. Big timer. Put yourself on the big screen there, big timer.
All right. This is the teal one. PSA 10.
Shit. Yeezy just got bougie.
So
now Yee is the bougie.
Yee, how many Jaws do you have? Rookies colored.
With the NBA premium stock? Or just like
that hoops, because you have like you're trying to do the rainbow. Like how many colors do you have?
How many different colors do I have? I have the case right here.
How many are there? Are there like 20 and you have 12, 15? Like, because every time you keep getting closer and closer.
I need to count how many I have now at this point because I don't.
Look at this guy.
Dude,
he's like, look at he got the briefcase. You can't hide money.
Bro, he's got the case.
Yeah. Oh man.
Let me pull out my.
Hey, dude,
I'm sorry. Let me just.
You see all those kids at the cons, dude.
Let me show my interns.
Got like $1,000 like card slabs and shit like that, and I'm like, man, those kids are fucking ballers.
I got my Greg Jeffries PSA 1988 Donners.
So I have 15 in my possession right now, and then I sent out some for grading too. So let me see how many I sent out for grading.
He was showing me the list last night. And I just saw literally jaw. That's all I saw. Jaw.
I mean, there's other cards in there too as well, but like, yeah, the majority.
Mr. Jaw Senior.
Let's
Jaw
see.
Junior.
Red Hood. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah,
Love
man.
your
You guys
face,
take
man.
care, man.
You have a
Hey,
good holiday.
let me know on those Star Wars figures, dude. Don't sell any to Nate. Dude. Like, I
Okay.
get first dibs, bro.
I
Dude,
have-
we've already got a contract going.
Oh, come on, man.
Okay, I have 21 different ones.
He's not
Wow.
looking at the originals anyway, Hood.
So I have 21 different jaws of the same
He's hiding
card.
them.
But like, yeah, there's some that are out for grading right now.
All right, guys. Merry Christmas. Y'all take
All right,
care.
Merry Christmas.
Love y'all, man.
Love
Brian,
to you
get
and the
better.
fam, brother.
Shout out to Brian McClegg. Please get better. Get some
Yeah, yeah.
rest.
Can you see it right there?
Love you,
There he is.
Brian. Later, guys.
Later.
See you, brother.
Oh man, but I am excited because like Panini Rewards is actually putting out something I want to use. Like someone gave me like literally like 7,000, 8,000 Panini points that they didn't use at all.
You told me about those. I still like. How does that actually work? Like, how many?
So
do
I
you have
actually
to have
redeemed
actually
them. Like
something-
I have like
Yeah.
5,500 points in my Panini account right now, and then like they have reward stuff that you can pick through, and every so often they put up like white sparkle packs, and so I'm gonna spend 5,000 points. I think this coming up like Wednesday or something like that for a 21-22 white sparkle optic pack. If I had 10,000, I would buy two, but yeah, dude. I don't know if I should sell, like, leave it sealed and just try to sell it, or
Sell
if I
the
should
pack?
just rip it.
You know you want to rip it.
I know I want to rip it. I mean, but that's like you're talking about.
I
Like,
do like the loyalty piece. Like, I wish Topps had that. I think that's a program they've missed the bucket on when it comes to.
Oh, with
I
their
thought-
loyalty points or whatever.
Well,
like,
I take it back. They do have a loyalty program. It
but
sucks.
you can't buy shit with it. Like I
Yeah,
have like
it's
50,000 points in that shit.
Yeah.
Like the only thing I'm buying every year now is the
Card of the month.
card of the month for the full baseball season.
I actually bought the Obi-Wan.
Uh-huh.
Like they released the 5 cards for the each episode.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
bought
yeah.
the first 2. Like I wanted the one where because I saw the last card for week 2 had Vader, had Anakin in the back to tank.
Oh, okay.
It was so unclear. Like I thought it'd be sharper when I got it. The card literally, I could just take a picture with my phone in the bathtub of my son, and it would come out clearer than what I got from Topps with Anakin in the back to tank. It is total trash. So I stopped buying them after that. So I still have points. I'd rather just let the points go out, in a waste.
They expire after-
Was that
Such
what?
a-
Was that the Topps black chrome, or was that just the
It's
what's
just
that
like
next tier down? The
so it's not even like from a hobby or retail product. Like it's just like literally cards that are print to order from their website.
Like the Topps Now cards.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sure,
So, but
sure.
they give it a time period. Like some are
You had
available
1
for-
week with the episodes.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah. So,
okay.
so some are like a week, some are 24 hours.
Yep.
Some are a full month. Like it
I
just
see.
depends on what it is.
Now they're not tying like an NFT to that or anything like that? I feel like
They have
that's
their
a
own
real
thing for that.
Star Wars, missed opportunity right there.
Well,
Don't give
they're
me
doing
ideas
with-
because they'll double the price. Like starting lineup did $50 for an action figure because you get NFT. I don't want the NFT. I just want the
there was someone doing like 25% off of that recently, but like still at $40. Is that a buy?
It's a lot, man. It's just
like I'm a huge Jaw fan.
Yeah.
I'm not running out the door to go buy a fucking starting lineup figure. Like,
well, when you told me about like I'm gonna wait till GameStop gets them, I was like, that's a great idea. And then I don't think that's like the one series I don't feel like you can find like in a retail store.
Oh yeah,
I haven't seen it at Target. I haven't seen it at GameStop. I haven't seen it at Walmart.
It's a high price point to like buy into for that kind of stuff.
It's really expensive. I mean, $50. And I'm guessing because NFT, they can only do it through Hasbro, like .com.
Oh,
how would you
like? There's a code that so you have to open the figure,
right?
And then you just redeem it online. Is what I assume.
Next time, take a look and see if you see it anywhere, even like Bedrock or any like comic or card place. I don't see those starting lineups like anywhere.
So I figured I would have saw it at the shop near you if I would see it anywhere.
Not there.
And then they didn't have it. So I was like kind of like, because I guess that's the first place I really noticed that they were like that they were continuing still doing like the NBA pops, because I remember when those first started like really showing it, like where they started doing sports people, right? Like the one that comes to mind the most is I remember when Otani had his 2-pack Funko Pop, where it was one of him pitching, one of him batting, and those were cheap back in the day. Those used to only be like $15.
So I got this for Anna's stocking.
Uh-oh. Nice.
I figured I'd get this one before he becomes a Met.
I mean, who else is not going to be a Met at this point? What, you got Verlander, Correa? Are you just trying to form the Astros again? 2.0?
They're actually right now they're reviewing the medicals actually again. The Met there's a press statement out. It just came out like a couple hours ago.
Are they going to try to get like George Springer next or anything like that? Like
they should have signed him actually when he was a free agent.
Yeah,
but
that would have been good. I mean, because like he ended up what in the Blue Jays at the Blue Jays
5 years, 150.
That's not bad.
No.
Yeah.
So Solo, I was actually telling or mentioning this to Aaron. What's the best series? Like if you're picking up your books, what's the one series like this past year that you couldn't like you really wanted to read? I actually struggled this year. Like in the past, there were a lot more series that I really enjoyed. I dropped a lot of like titles. Like Venom was terrible, Hulk was terrible.
Yeah.
Strange Academy for me was the best title.
Did you continue reading onto the finals?
Yeah, and then I picked up the first 2 issues, and it's really good. Like I like how they're making basically like Emily, the bad guy, where everyone thought it was going to be Doyle. I think it's the art's really good. Like I love is it Pepe or no Roberto Ramos who does the art in it.
Okay.
And I like Gaslamp. I think he's a good character. Actually, I'll tell you, there were 2 stories or 2 books I really liked. And I'm not a big independent guy, but Once in Future. And I really like 7 Secrets. That was one of my favorite books. Like I looked, like when I got my bag, that was the first book I read every time.
7 Secrets, didn't that end? Did that end
on issue 17 this year?
Yeah, did it end this year? Okay.
The ending wasn't great, but I'm like, if you read it from start to finish, like you can like if you read it, like you can see like I was like, man, this is a series on like Netflix or Amazon Prime. Like you can easily see it on the big screen or my smaller screen or whatever. And then Once in the Future, like Granny, like she's the best character in that book. Like she would be great in the series, like whoever they would cast her as. And so those 2, like I know everyone loves Something Killing the Children, which is great, but those are my 2 favorite Boom titles, and they both ended. Marvel series, Amazing's terrible. Hulk's not great.
Yeah,
Venom's not good. I would say X-Men would be my second favorite probably book I read behind Strange Academy.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm definitely still reading Something Is Killing the Children first. Like I'm not going as hard as I was into it, like buying like every single incentive and all that shit. But I'm still reading the series and enjoying it. Yeah, but one of the new series that I really enjoyed was reading New Think.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
So like who was it? Raza did a bunch of covers for it, and then basically the writer is making like social commentary. Like the first story is like it's kind of like a Black Mirror type of storyline where it's like not so distant future, and the first one is like about cell phones like kind of controlling everyone, and it was just like more of a like social commentary of like how we're all addicted to like technological items and stuff like that, and then like how it changes the world around you and everything. So
how long
each issue it came out this year. Each issue is like kind of different. So
okay.
Yeah.
Boy, I don't know, man. I honestly damn near dropped off reading every single thing that I was reading because it just so there was a lot of different books, but I feel like different stories, different so like Star Wars, the regular series, there you read 5, 6 and it was like, wow, that was really good. And that little 6-book arc or whatever, you're like, oh, I can't wait to the next one. and then it'd just drop out and it'd be
Totally
gone.
changes.
It'd be trash. And then you're like, well, this isn't even worth hardly looking at the damn pictures anymore. Like, what the fuck? And then, you know, bounty hunters would have this peak and you'd be like, oh, yeah. And then all of a sudden it'd drop out. The bottom would just drop out of it. And you're like, well, fuck me in the neck. You know,
I can't. Well, what they've done with like Forlom
I-
and Zuckus and Bounty Hunters, I hate Bounty Hunters. Like, to me, is the worst Star Wars title.
Yeah,
that
it
there
just
is.
got.
It
It started out solid, and then it just kind of went to shit. Now, obviously,
Well-
if I remember correctly, it started last year, two years.
I think it's on 27 now, so it's about 2 years ago. Yeah,
but everything that I read, you know, every fucking book, Daredevil, Hulk, you know, everything. It was good.
Murphy versus
Venom,
Batman.
it was good. The Thor run, you know, it was good, and then you just drop out. Nightwing had a solid
good.
run.
Yeah.
It had a solid run, and then I felt like it kind of fell out again, and it was just like, what the hell, man? Like, can anyone just write something consistent? So I honestly have this year spent more time going back and reading. I know I'm going to get crucified digitally, reading because I don't have all of them, but going back and reading old books, going back and reading the original, you know, Star Wars Volume 1, reading the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 1, reading, you know, the original. Just
I did that during COVID.
The Secret Wars. Fuck, I hadn't read that in a long
Secret Wars.
time.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah,
You
that's
know,
a good
go
idea.
back and reread some of that stuff and remind yourself. There was so much stuff that I picked up again, and it was like, oh God, I totally forgot all about that.
I think that was the best part about COVID, because you didn't have the books coming out. Because I like you, I went back and I reread the original Mirage series. I actually pulled out my old G.I. Joe books, read that from 1 to 155.
Nice.
I bought the old Transformers, read them from 1 to 80, and then I pulled out the TMNT IDW series and read that until it came back out. And I think at that time it got to like 90 or something like that. But that run actually, like in 20, I felt that was the best ones they'd had for Turtles. Sophia Campbell doing the art, she was the perfect artist for the Turtles, and it was a good storyline. And I felt like that story is gone. It went, it's hard to top. I thought 20 was the best, and 21's come down, but 22 has not been very good. Like they've kind of stalled on the storyline.
Everybody just across the board. And I don't know if if producers are holding the writers back, or if the companies are stifling the creativity of our.
But could it be the publishers as well? Like, it
like could be the publishers.
I mean, because Marvel's made some major changes where they're no longer going through Diamond, right? They're going through Penguin Random House.
Penguin, yeah.
So I wonder if they have rules that you have to abide by, like whenever.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't write for them.
I don't either. But I feel like after this year and just taking a brief, look back, the creativity of a lot of these people can't all be stifled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tinian and everybody. I just feel like everybody, even Kevin Scott for Star Wars, even he kind of fell off there for a while, and he hasn't.
Well, it's because
my personal opinion. This is only my opinion.
But you can't just send Chip Zdarsky to go save every title either.
Yeah,
right,
which
absolutely.
I will say, I think what he's doing with Batman is good, but like if you're talking about like Turtles is my favorite in 20, Daredevil was my favorite in 21. It ends. He's only a couple into Batman. I like Batman Detective where they're going, but outside that in DC, like I think your points too, like Nightwing to me is kind of a little bit plateaued. I don't know where you're going to go, if there's more to go. I do think X-Men, and I heard on the Comic-Con podcast, Manimal, Zach was talking about Immortal X-Men. So I think I need to pick that one up because I think he's got it. He reads a lot of X-Men. He made it sound like that title was really good.
Okay.
Well, and Trey on Wednesday is always talking about X-Men and really, given, you know, a good breakdown and everything.
Yeah.
I have perused X-Men. I don't read X-Men. I will watch the shit out some X-Men cartoons. I don't fucking read X-Men. You know why? I don't have to. You know why I've never,
Because everyone reads it, right?
Everybody fucking reads it. If I want to know about X-Men, all I got to do is go out on the fucking street and ask my neighbor, hey, what's going on with X-Men? Oh, bro, let me tell you. All right, guess I don't need to buy that fucking book anymore. You know why I don't own Leonard Skinner? Because if I want to fucking hear any of their shitty music, I can turn on the goddamn radio and hear it every third song.
Right after the Eagles.
Like, fucking why buy it? Fuck it. Yeah, you want to hear some Fleetwood Mac, Steve Miller Band, Eagles? Fuck, turn on the goddamn radio. Want to hear Zeppelin 4? I bought that album once. You know, my favorite Zeppelin song is on Zeppelin 4. You know why I don't own the album? I turn on the fucking radio and hear it. I
do own Zeppelin too.
I buy X-Men and shit like that to flip it, but what the fuck, man? If I want to know about X-Men or really get into it, I didn't fucking read a four-book arc.
I think what Solarwook is saying is for next year, his focus is going to be on reading X-Men titles.
No, he's going to go X Factor. He's going to go X Factor because no one reads that.
Nope.
I was reading Knights of X for a little bit.
I'm selling all my X-Men shit, all my Wolverine shit, all that crap that I have getting gone. Gone.
Ooh.
Wolverine number 1. Gone. Fucking.
Send me a list before you do that.
Marvel Comics.
We could probably work out a trade.
All of it. Fucking X-Men. And I got some, number 4s. I got like 3 copies of every number 1 they fucking made for the, the Jim Lee covers and fucking, all kinds of. Get it the fuck out of here. I don't need it.
Do you have any
X-Force, X-Factor? You want the whole run? I got almost the whole fucking run. Get them gone.
Do you have any X-Men 49 or X-Men 50 from the original run?
No, not the big ones. I got way later numbers in it. Yeah, get it gone. Fucking sell. Sunday. Everything must go. I got debt. I don't need them fucking books. I haven't asked my neighbor.
Oh.
What the fuck happened? Oh, I'll tell you. No, all right. Don't need to fucking buy that book. I'll call Trey. Hey, Trey, what happened? Trey gives a great breakdown, man. I'll listen to that shit and be like, fuck, that was a good book.
Ooh, I just got a message that someone's going to try to jump on it a bit if we're still on. So
nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was a rough year, man. If I had to go book for book longevity this year, I'd maybe have to go Star Wars Adventures because it ran the beginning of it was better than and more consistent than probably anything else that I read.
I think After was the best Star Wars book I read this year. And I don't think there was one that was just great. I think it's kind of like taking
just like an overall view of the story arc.
It's like the valedictorian of summer school. It's kind of the brightest of the dumbest. It's just I don't think there's anything that's situated like it's the greatest, but I think
all the dumb kids, you was the bestest. Yeah, no, I get it. But I mean, if I'm gonna vote, honestly, and it didn't come out this year, but if I'm gonna vote, I'm going Stray Dogs. Nothing has touched Stray Dogs.
No, it's
in my opinion,
series. It was.
Nothing has touched Stray Dogs since it was released.
Did that finish in 2021? I mean, I know they had their spin-off series with the Dog Days that came out in 2022, didn't it?
Yeah. It but it again, and I know it was a short little five run or whatever, but whatever. It nothing has really excited me or piqued my interest or got me into really wanting to get to the store and get that book. You know what I mean? Nothing has done that since like it did with Stray Dogs.
So let's get Solo on a different tune. What's the best Christmas present you got any year? Or that you gave someone? How about that? But
you're gonna have to try.
You have the beard for Santa. I mean, I'm going mine out, but it's RD right now. So
All right, now we're gonna get into a little secret about old Solo Wookie. I don't really celebrate Christmas.
Well, that's fine.
Okay.
I don't buy, I don't sell, I mean, if I can, I will try and stuff. This is how lame I am, is that I have this brand new 2019 truck. I've never owned a new truck or a new car in ever in my life, ever. And I kid you not even 4 fucking weeks ago, I go to put the sunshade back, in the little clip in the holder.
Yeah.
And the whole fucking hook, half of the hook of the clip for the sunshade fucking breaks off.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I drove a 1980 Ford Fiesta go-kart for like 8 years or some shit. And I mean, it was a tin can with plastic bits. And I never had anything like that break. I got a brand new fucking truck.
You try so hard to take care of it.
Make it 2 years without something small in it fucking breaking in. I was like disgusted and hurt, and I felt violated and fucking robbed.
So
and
can
my
you tell me, was it a Ford?
got
it a Ford?
online, and she bought me two clips for the truck, 2 new clips.
That's
like
a great present.
It was
thoughtful.
Awesome. Yeah, just an incredible present, because she knew that my world is just.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a big present for the big impact.
No, and it was very thoughtful. It was very creative. Awesome. I mean, that was a great present. That was the bomb, man. She knocked it out of the park on that.
Tell us, is it a Ford?
God, no, I would never. It would have to be prior to probably 1980 if I was ever going to own or buy a Ford product.
Is it GMC? Because I have a GMC truck.
I just hit a number card out of this Mega, this Bowman Chrome Mega. So I'm trying to hit a Julio Rodriguez rookie. So
well, then maybe I'll let Dollar or Brian open the packs.
I know, right? But I hit a Roberto Campos out of 150 out of the Mojo
look
pack.
At you, hot hands.
And then I did hit a Spencer Torkelson rookie, just base. So.
Oh, is that the what you?
Yeah,
that's a good card.
Yeah. I mean, I've been opening a lot of the those Bowman Chrome Mega boxes. I found like 5 this morning. So this is like the 3rd box I've opened.
Is Gunnar Henderson in that set?
Gunnar
the shortstop for the Orioles. He's a stud.
Now, what about you, Nate? What was your best gift, either received or given in the last year? Last year or this year. So,
it's kind of funny story. So, it ties into last year. So when I was growing up, so small town, the guys I like went to daycare, like literally I have pictures of the guys like I went to daycare with my entire life. Mm-hmm. 50 years later, still everybody's texting today and stuff like that. And
yep, that's how I am with my friends too.
Yeah. That's kind of how it works. And then, so when we were growing up, so my grandmother worked for Sears. And so she'd bring home the wish list every year. Yeah. And then the aircraft carrier was in there. So long story short, my best friend, Jeff, he and I both asked for it. He was telling me when he woke up, like, 5 a.m, I guess back in 86, he was like, want to go downstairs. And his parents were like, no, you can't go downstairs yet. And he was so unsettled. They're like, come lay down with us. Gets to be 6. He's like, kind of go down. Like, no, wait till 7, sun's up. They're like, what do you think you got? He goes, G.I. Joe, USF aircraft carrier. And his dad did this, boy, you're going to be real disappointed. Laid there and was like, and he's like, I had to lay there for an hour after hearing like, that doesn't, and he's like, that doesn't sound good. And so he went downstairs, didn't get it. And we were in 4th grade. And we used to talk 2 hours on the phone. My mom was like, she's like, you can't talk 2 hours on the phone when you get home from, 3rd grade. I'm like, why not? And so,
Somebody important might call. Now, now for kids in the audience, this is prior to cell phones. The shit was
this is the
attached
cords
to the
on the
wall.
phone, the way cords.
There was no fucking
Well,
call
th-
waiting.
and so
there was
did
no
he-
did you have a
second
rotor
line.
dial?
When I would spend the night at his house, he would tell me that, or his mom actually told me later on, like I would bring this huge bag, like almost like you're traveling, and it had no clothes, it had no toothbrush, it had nothing. All it was every transformer I owned, and I would just roll it in so that way we could trade. And like you can't see it so low, but like I know we were talking, like 2 weeks ago, and I was kind of bringing out some stuff. All this stuff I have is because of him, like his Slave One Dagobah system. I mean, the Rebel Transport, all this stuff is all his. So when he comes, he's like, that was mine. That was mine. That was mine. Like, I'm like, Jeff, don't forget that one. That was yours too. And so he's still still gets fired up about it. So long story short, one of our good buddies, like within this group that we grew up with, passed away in 20. So all the guys came in last summer in 21. And so I told my wife, I'm like, hey, make sure Jeff comes like a day early. And we lived together in Charlotte when we graduated, and he had bought a house. He's like, dude, you need to go back to your parents' house and get the aircraft carrier, and we'll display it in the living room. Like that's, out of college, like he was still talking about, like he's talked about his entire life. And when I moved to Texas, this was 6 years ago, I found a guy who had an aircraft carrier still in the box. The box had been open, but the contents had never been taken out.
Yeah.
So I bought it from him. I was in corporate housing. This aircraft carrier has been in my closet for 5 years. And if like anyone watches the show and they've ever seen it like in the background, I actually just moved it out like this past week. I was telling you last night that I kind of rearranged stuff, but it used to be back here. So I had bought it on purpose for him. So when he and I got together, because I'm usually back in North Carolina, but when he came down to Texas, he always wanted to put together. He'd never put together as a kid. So when he came down a year or a day early from everyone else. Literally, mind you, I bought this in 2016, so way before all like the stuff had gone nuts and pricing. And moving this thing from like apartment to a house, like
it's a big box,
it's
man.
Not,
it's not a little box.
It is a little bit arduous task. And so I was like, hey, there's something for you. I was like, you need to go down this room, and like my wife like videotaped it, like going down the hall, him opening it, the door, and there it is, the aircraft carrier is still in the box, and he's just like, this isn't what I think it is it? And I'm like, yeah, buddy.
Fucking epic.
And so he's like, at one point he's like, turn the camera off, because he's like, I'm getting ready to cry. And he's literally like hugging the box, and like just he had to sit down, like couldn't believe it, get him a beer, and just like, oh my God, man. And just, couldn't believe, I mean, so many years later, I mean, I guess that was when we were like 10, 11, I think, when it came out. And now we're, this time we're like 46, and he's been wanting this thing forever. So we literally spent the entire day just putting it together, still had the stickers. So we were putting the stickers on, I mean, like every part of it. It was great. It was
that's awesome.
Really one of the best things I'd, ever
that's
done.
Badass, man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Good buddies.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Fuck. You do anything for him.
What about you?
Then he was like, "Hey, hey, can I fly this back to North Carolina to give my boys?" I'm like, "No, buddy." I'm like, "That's staying here." I was like, "You got to put together." I'm like, "It's staying here." I was like, "I talked to your wife." I was like, "Now you can go buy one, and you and your boys can put one together." But I'm like, "This one's staying here."
We're gonna build a glass case for it. That's my new coffee table.
Yeah, we tried to get it. So Solo, Aaron knows I've got a Han Solo carbonite coffee table.
Yeah, he does.
It won't fit on there. The carrier is 7.5 feet, and by the time you have the size,
I've seen.
I was like, we need two. We need Jar Jar and Han Solo in carbonite.
Yeah. Yep.
It's nuts, man.
Yeah.
I would have to say right now, this bag of Cheetos is really good. But
that's your best Christmas gift. What's your best Christmas gift that you either got or received in either last year or this year?
Oh, one year my brother bought me a Star Wars 1. Like CBCS
What,
9.
CGC?
It was a CBCS 9.6. And dude, he got it for like $100. So like I was like kind of like cool. Like that's probably like one of the like the gift that keeps on giving, right?
Yeah. Busts out the fucking, newsstand, fucking Star Wars 196 CBCS. He's like, I got this for my brother, $100.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a good gift. That's a solid gift.
Yeah. So I mean,
dude, I just wish I wish that kids could see like that Sears catalog. Like Joseph put it on there. Like that thing, they were so cool. They were beasts too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My grandmother would have, she'd bring that home, and all of a sudden, like there'd be like the Brindles catalog, which is like, it was like a high school yearbook and a middle school yearbook. And like being the younger one, here, you get the Brindles catalog. I'm like, I don't want the Brindles catalog.
Yeah.
I get the Sears catalog. So you're sitting there like, all right, there's kind of a half a page of G.I. Joe and a half a page of Transformers, Thundercats, He-Man, all that stuff smeared together.
Star Wars.
I want to see, I want to see what's in the big one.
Yeah. No, I remember, man. It's I still remember, just flipping through just those 3 pages just back, because my best friend collected G.I. Joe, so I always went and played G.I. Joe at his house because he always was getting those, and I always collected Star Wars and shit, so he always came and played Star Wars in my house, and man,
Lazarus put
I went
Hot Wheels.
to Jason's.
Did you guys ever do, like, I had the old Hot Wheels set, but like the people who were younger, I think with like you guys had more options, like you could put together and make all kinds of Hot Wheels tracks and stuff like that. Like I want to do that with my son, but I want to do it like where it goes from upstairs to downstairs, like through the dining room, and where
it's
got all over the place.
It's got to have the loop on it too.
Yeah
Dude, and then like they've gotten so advanced now that they have like those track things that make it speed up and slow down.
Yeah.
So if you ever get bored or something, there's a guy on YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I got to do something with my life. There's a guy called Ghost Jerker on YouTube, and he collects and builds and races Hot Wheels. He will go out and drop $100 because he's got like it's a big wide with a big giant hill, right? And he'll buy and just have total race brackets. And him and his 2 kids get together. He does, so every holiday he does like bowling for gifts. And so he'll race like 2 cars, and whoever wins, out of his 2 boys, then they get to pick one of their gifts and either open it or do it.
That's cool.
He's a really, really cool cat. Real cool cat. Real great, just ideas as far. He has a pool out back. He's somewhere in Florida. And he's got a pool, and he'll race them down under the water.
The cars go through the pool or in and out.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
and there's like cameras, waterproof cameras. He'll get on him, and he's got set up underwater, and it'll film the whole thing. He's top notch, man. It's fun to watch. That's
awesome.
Yeah, that's one of those where you could get your kids or your friends or whatever and watch races on TV, and dude, I'll bet you a quarter. I'll bet you a pretzel, or I'll bet you a Cheeto or whatever. And this is my car. That's the one that's gonna win. I know I won.
So it's funny you mentioned that. So one of the guys I mentioned, or like guys we grew up with, he actually sent me. I talked to him last weekend, and he just bought a race car, and he and another guy in North Carolina are like doing their own like small car, like engine.
What kind of race car?
Yeah,
you don't
know. I couldn't make everything out. It's not, it's not a dirt track. It's a small track, and it's God, he gave me some details, but at that point I couldn't remember. When he told me he did, I was like, so this guy's gonna be driving. I'm like, well, he needs to lose about 20 pounds because the weight on that car is not gonna be fast enough. and these guys aren't mechanics, so like you're trying to learn on the fly. I'm like, because I know they have like 15, 20-minute pit stops. Yeah. And they're only like 5 cars racing. So it's, but I think like I think he told me like the ultimate purse, like I think a $50,000 purse, like if you do it like in Vegas and something like that. But I'm like, how many engines do you have? And he's like, well, we bought 2, bought 1 car, and then I'm like, I was like, that's awesome. I was like, I think it's great. I'm just like, I don't know how you afford the hobby to do it. But I'm like, man, have at it, dude. I was like, I'd love to come see a race. I was like, that's crazy. That's awesome.
I got a great story. I'll tell you one of the best success stories you'll ever hear. Right? Years ago, growing up, we had a friend. His name's Brent Livestead. Great guy, solid cat. Right? Super solid cat. Well, we always teased him because, like my friend Nate, he's old Mopar head, just like I am. I like the old Mopars and the old Chevys. We got Matt, and he's a kind of a Ford guy. And, there's a lot of us. Well, we're a lot of the old American muscle. Not Brent, boy. He worked at, Honda Imports, which was a junkyard for foreign cars. So it was all Acuras, Hondas, Nissans, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
Well, he was always hopping up and just making these, just hopped up, foreign cars. And I'm going to make them faster. I'm going to make them faster. And we'd always tease him about how, he couldn't ever get, a front wheel drive car to be fast because it's not feasible, right? Because it's not American muscle. It's not rear wheel drive. It's not, right? So here we are, 35 years later, and he owns PFI Speed, and you can look him up on YouTube or on the internet or whatever. PFI Speed, he's down in Colorado, and he now has several cars and has built and helped other guys build several cars, and they're running 6s in the quarter mile with probably, I don't even know, 80% of their cars. It's amazing. Like he's got a Honda that he's doing, 6.9 in the quarter. He's got.
So you're telling us that he is the reason why they wrote Fast and the Furious movies.
Pretty much, absolutely. He literally is, and he's one of the just most down to earth, big hearts, just a great guy. Go check out PFI Speed on YouTube and watch him race. Just in the last 4 months, they have been breaking records at tracks with foreign, and they're killing it. They're killing it. They have Acuras that, they pull easy 8-second quarter miles. It's mind blowing to watch them racing those cars. It's fucking amazing. Just hands down fucking amazing. And to see someone come up, that I grew up with is probably a little more endearing than just your average person. But on the same note, being able to watch someone achieve their dream and get a race crew and a race car and going out and doing racing every weekend and having a shop to build race cars and Dynatune stuff. And, I'm proud of him for achieving his goal for all the crap. Here I am eating crow all these years later because he was like, I'm going to make them under 10s, this, when I grow up, I'm going to make these foreign cars under 10s. You'll never do it. You'll never do it. I'll do it. Here he is just doing it left and right and just amazing cars.
Dude, I'm really excited to see what happens with people importing Japanese cars over the next few years coming up here. Because you're talking about cars from 99, 2000 starting to come in from Japan because of the whole 25 years or older.
Right.
With the regulations are different for cars, right? Because that at that point is not, well, it's considered vintage now or classic car, right? So it falls under those laws. So I'm excited to see, because I think that's what I'm saving my money up for next is some crazy Japanese car that I sit on the right side, the passenger side. So
Yeah. My
I just want to trick people too, like as they walk up to the passenger side. Oh, you want to drive?
my girlfriend's middle son is in the Air Force, and he's over in Okinawa right now. And
Uh-huh.
he did that. He bought some super fancy, just crazy ultimate race car and I said, I want to say it's a Toyota.
Okay.
No, or I can't remember what he bought, but it's a super rare car that everyone in the States is like, oh man, you got one of those? That car's badass. Like it's a legit race car from factory. And
That's
so
badass.
it'll be interesting to see how, he gets that home with the timeline and the dates and everything. And
Yeah.
and
The only thing
yeah.
the only thing I'm kind of concerned about is like exactly what kind of gas I can put in the car.
Yeah,
Because I know
it's hard.
I know that slightly varies a little bit, not too much.
It does, but you can still buy race fuel. You can get cans of race fuel out there and stuff.
That's
It's a
true.
lot more expensive. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, and
Oh, to
I
get the
mean,
exact right octane that you need in that car.
and in most places today, you can still, you can get the 91 and you can get a little better. And even in the Midwest, some places you can even get ethanol free, gasoline, and it
That's
doesn't
true.
have all the heavy starch corn crap in it and all the other misconceptions. But it's out there. You can still get the stuff. It just costs a lot more. You can also go out to the airport. You can get airport, jet engine fuel. You
No, that's
put
true.
that in there, and that's like 112 octane or 110. That's fun stuff.
Yeah.
If you have the right car. Not that allegedly. That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
Not
So
that I
you've been
would know.
told.
Yeah, so I've heard. Allegedly. Oh yeah.
Where did
No,
Nate go?
I don't know.
This was his idea.
He got to pay.
Mm.
So yeah, your cards have been hot lately. You've been really pulling some good cards.
Yeah, but I've also been opening a lot too. I'm not gonna lie. So
would you say that there is an average in cards? Like, is it? Because I'm not a big card guy, but is there definitely a massive average? Like,
there's
you
odds.
should just go into it thinking, I'm going to spend this much money for this many cards and over this period of time, and I'm going to hit this many on an average.
I mean, it's odds game, right?
Sure.
So it's dependent on print runs, so you can get, because they actually do publish all that stuff, right? And so you can actually get like legitimate numbers and figure out what are your odds of how much of this product exists out there. So those odds on the back actually mean stuff where you can actually figure out the math to figure out what the print run is, right?
Right.
So I mean,
you got to be a lot smarter than I am to actually stand a chance. And that's why I don't do cards, because I'm not that smart.
But I mean, to me, I think it's like it's like poker, right? Like 99% of it's skill, numbers, knowing all that, knowing odds.
Yeah.
And then I think there's that 1% where it's actual luck, right?
Sure.
Where it's just that
luck will beat skill every day of the week.
Right, exactly. So I mean, that's exactly like how some of the best poker players in the world lose all the time, is to luck, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's why, to me, like, I don't care about odds, like reading odds on the back of packs and stuff like that, because like either it's gonna hit big or it's not. And I don't know.
So you're more of a luck player than an odds player in the card game.
For me, yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just extremely lucky. Like, ask Nate. Like, I opened a pack at his house, just like kind of like before I left. I was like, kind of like, let's see what I pull out of this pack. And I ended up hitting like what? It was a purple Bobby Witt Jr.
Yep, rookie card.
Yeah.
I immediately ran upstairs. Like there are people in the way. I'm like, get away. I'm like, don't touch the card. I'm like, I gotta put it in a sleeve. I gotta put
Yeah.
People are like, what are you doing? I'm like, don't worry about it.
Don't
Mind the
worry.
business.
I got
you
stuff.
downstairs.
Yeah, important business. Step aside.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is why Aaron is actually allowed to go upstairs.
Yeah.
Step aside, man. Important business.
Oh, but it was funny, like setting up the PlayStation for like some kids and stuff like that. I was like, oh, at a holiday party at my job, showing people how to use technology.
Well, the thing was, they were like, how do you get started and how do you get into the game? I'm like, dude, I got that 4 years ago. I've been trying to get time to play it. I've never gotten 10 minutes in because of everything else. Yeah. I've like, so when I looked at Isaac, I'm like, I got one guy over here. I think he could tell the boys how to get things going. I'm like, it's Yi. He works in IT and he knows Star Wars and he knows gaming. So I'm like, if he can't get you past like the beginning, I was like, there's no one here. There's no one else here that can.
So he sent like a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old to go play Star Wars Battlefront 2 on his like PlayStation, and I was just like kind of like, all right. And then like he had it on the startup screen and all that, and it was just like, here you go, here's the controllers, y'all figure it out. And then like not even like 2 minutes later, they come back running down like, and they're like, how do you do this? Like any of this? And then I had played a long time ago where I've seen someone play, so I was like kind of like, all right, here you go. I'm just gonna set up a random campaign, random whatever. Like go knock yourselves out. But I made sure to like put on the hardest setting too, so they'll never. No, I'm just joking.
I was hoping they'd pick up like where I left off, because I do the easiest setting every time because I'm not smart enough to figure out the hardest stuff. So I'm like, just get me through it because I can watch everything, like Arkham Asylum. I just want to see everything and like be able to kind of compete.
Awesome. Here you go, little punk bitches. Try this level.
Man, we keep getting killed.
It's because you suck. Step
Get
up
better,
your game, boy.
There are no trophies for second place in this house.
Welcome to the real world. Get out there and play.
He's got these poor little kids just getting crushed.
For nothing. Kids are
You're not helping me because I was talking to Isaac because he won a Switch at work.
Yeah.
And he just got one. I'm like, hey, can I have that one? And he was like, yeah, because he didn't want 2 Switches for like the boys. Like he's like, man, they got enough time with one. I'm like,
I'll be right back. I get it.
I was like, my life, I can make your life easier. Just give me the new Switch.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to worry about the kids doubled up on the time on the play on video games.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very courteous and thoughtful gesture on my part. And then Chris was like, yeah, give it to him. I'm like, or I'll just come pick it up.
Like, yeah. Did they ever work out the deal with you for it?
Oh no. So with Christmas Eve and stuff like that. I was just like, I'll meet him up for lunch in a week. And I'll be like, bring that Switch.
Yeah. Oh, so I stopped at the Target by your house on the way back because I hit the highway, and then I was like, let me just see like what kind of wax they have here. Like I was like, I'm never on this side of town. Like, might as well just see like kind of what they have.
They usually don't have anything.
Well, so they had some stuff,
hockey.
But they had tons of hockey. I ended up buying mosaic blasters and stuff like that for soccer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because someone pulled a 1-of-1 out Mbappe out of a retail, so I was like kind of like, might as well try to like pull like a Messi 1-of-1 gold vinyl.
God, it would be awesome if you pulled that.
I know, right?
Especially have like a Target blaster.
Right, exactly. Like the best thing I pulled was like a who was it? I don't even remember who it was. Do I have it near me?
Rhinoverse. I don't know if you're in Houston, but we're in the Woodlands.
Yeah, and I'm in Southwest, so I'm like in Pearland.
So
on
we're
the
like,
southwest.
we got an hour between us?
Yeah, I think it's like an hour between
North
us.
to south?
Yeah, yeah. That's why I always tell us to like meet somewhere downtown. So it's like halfway between for both of us.
I don't know. I think it's closer for you, pal.
Yeah. Wait, is it? I mean,
Yeah, downtown? Yeah.
yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta-
Oh, yeah, yeah.
easier.
Downtown's
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
downtown's like 20 minutes for me. Like 30 minutes. Like
Carolyn? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely closer to you.
Okay, yeah, right over. So yeah, you're
Yeah.
yeah.
Very
Like
much so.
I'm on the opposite side of Pearland than you are if you're on the Friendswood side. So, like you're like closer to 45. I'm closer to 288. So to give you relative highways.
I'm like, I swear it's colder down by where you guys live than it is here.
Yeah, because we're closer to the water.
And it doesn't rain up here. Like I'll talk to a buddy of mine who's in Katy. I'm like, is it raining down there? He's like, yeah. I'm like, it's never. We're the opposite of the monsters where it doesn't rain here. It'll rain all around you, but it won't rain here.
See, I get rain all the time, and then when it flooded not too long ago,
Mm-hmm.
we were actually stuck inside of our neighborhood. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't drive out. But it's all the stupid fucking man-made lakes that they made.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Yeah, I mean, so that's just like poor city planning design.
Hey, I meant to show you this last night. I don't think I had a chance. So, a buddy of mine opened a pack of 81 Flair.
Uh huh. What did he pull?
I should just. He pulled the Harold Baines and the Ricky Henderson, same pack.
Oh, really?
Look how sharp these cards are.
Oh, wow.
I mean, yeah, I can't believe this guy's a Hall of Famer, but I mean, it is like perfect.
Nice. Are you gonna grade them?
No,
I
I don't think it's worth it.
Okay.
The Henderson is great. It's off cut left to right. That's
Okay.
pretty. I mean, like the colors are really good. It looks really nice.
It's not that bad of an offcut too for like a vintage card.
Those old Flares. I mean, they're always. It's hard to get those nice
Like super
centered.
centered.
Yeah.
It's because they were using like a cheap old like hand paper cutter.
You laugh.
It probably
what
was some
you
old
gotta do.
lady. Yeah, it was probably some old lady that couldn't handle it. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. It's just like when they talk about the Gretzky's, like how the cuts are and like you have the fuzz.
oh,
with
for
the
the
wires.
wires. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you talk to Tyler much about cars? 'Cause he was, I'm going to tell you. So he was asking me, like, do you want to sell all the cards we got and get like one big card? I'm like, not right now.
Yeah. This. Oh,
I mean, I guess it kind of evens out, but I'm like, I don't want to sell the Gretzky,
mean-
the Lemieux, like the Jordan,
Yeah.
stuff like that to get like. I was like, well, what do you want?
yeah. Like, what do you really go after at that point? Like, do you go for like some crazy like RPA, like a NFL shield of someone, or like a logo
It'd
man?
be more like a. Because I told him, I was like, if you wanted to go after like a 9 tops Gretzky or something like that, or like a really, kind of
But would
high
you really-
peachy Gretzky.
Would
Well,
you
I
really be one to buying a Gretzky if his record's about to get broken?
I think Gretzky's always going to be one of those cards, though.
Right. I mean, like it's gonna be one. I mean, he's the great one.
Well,
right?
he's got the car Brian had, but he's got a 9 and a 10, or a 10 and a 9, or
Okay. Yeah.
10, 9 auto. So
10 auto, right?
yeah, and then we've got the
Nine card.
boxes, and then we've got the Young Guns, and then
Is that card a bit thicker too? Like
Mhm.
like I'm thinking
SP?
like
Authentic?
flawless or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely thicker. I mean, it's a nice card. The funny part is like the card's so ugly because he looks really ugly on the card.
It's an ugly card.
It's an ugly card, but
Well,
I mean,
is that because of the design?
no, it's just
layout?
him. He just looks
Okay.
ugly. He looks like some
It's a
kid with
bad
acne
card.
and stuff.
But that's most hockey players anyways too, right? Because like they don't have teeth, right?
I
I
don't
mean,
know,
I guess
man.
there are
There's
some good dentures and stuff
There's
like
some
that.
there's some hockey players that don't seem to have any trouble with their incredibly beautiful wives. So
That's true.
I can't
But,
say
I
they're
figured
all ugly.
But I mean,
So
I
we were
figured that
talk-
was
we're-
like also like the tough guy situation too, right? That they can
Sure,
protect.
sure.
Right?
So
Well,
let me
I
ask you,
mean,
what you do, Gretzky? We were talking about bird magic, but I'm like, nines are not outrageous. Like
Uh-huh.
10, you can't get a 10. I mean, it's just, but 9 you can get for like 18. So I'm like, that's
but,
not. I was like,
okay.
if you were talking about trying to get like some kind of crazy card, it's got to be
Sure.
like a PSA Jordan 9.
Okay, so are you going for a crazy card just to collect and have, or to collect or to resell, or are you going?
Yeah,
Are
like
you
it's
going?
what's
Do
the
you
end goal?
want
Is your
that
is your end
crazy
goal?
card that you love because you love that player, you loved watching them,
It'd be
you
to
love,
sell.
you know what I mean? Like,
To sell.
But
yeah.
would it
So
be also
but
to get the
long-
money, like
long
to
time.
also to like reinvest into something else? Like, is your ultimate goal at the end like a nine half Mickey Mantle 52?
Ooh. So
I
like
mean,
a Jordan, it's something like that. It's to sell, and it's
Right.
more like, well, actually, we talked about it. It's either to sell when the kids get to college, or it's hand it down to the kids at some point. But it's like,
okay, it's like an either or.
so an
like,
investment,
yeah, but it was like
long-term investment.
You're right, it's better if like, hey, do you really enjoy the card? Like, I hate Jordan, so
yeah.
I don't want. I was like, I'll do it, but I'm like, I don't like. Hey, I really want to have that card. Like, I love that card. I wouldn't do. I would do anything for it. I was like, yeah, I'd like.
That's why I bought a Messi on the short term, because I knew, like, I mean, I didn't know he was going to make it to the World Cup and everything, but that just happened to be in my favor or my
Just
luck,
worked out.
where I bought it for so cheap before anyone, I would say, even gave a shit about soccer. Like,
I
bought
think it
the
also
card-
depends, like the sports that you love, or what do you really
Right.
enjoy? Because like,
Sure.
like we both really like hockey. I think that's why we're like Gretzky. Like, even though we've got the Ovechkin's, whatever, we love that part, but
802.
I think we much rather like Gretzky's Gretzky. Like,
right.
Gretzy's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
so you're going after the holy grail of the O-Pee-Chee Gretzky then eventually.
But that's
right?
the whole thing. It's like, you got to sell all the other stuff to get to that, and it's like, well, is it worth it? Because then, how are you going to liquidate all this stuff without like eBay? It's just.
And there's
It's
a lot
easier
of
said
other
than
cards that are gonna, they're up there and they're good. Your Bobby Orrs and your your old schools like that are, you could get in, and they're not going to be the ultimate holy grail, but they're still going to go up in value.
I
But
was
you're-
saying Jackie Robinson.
But I mean, like, you and Tyler made good plays last year when Mahomes was down in price, right?
Yeah,
Y'all bought those. What was it? The
those
prism,
10s. Yeah,
those prism colored.
the
whatever.
color match on the 10s.
Yeah. So, like, I would have to imagine, like, by this point in the football season, like a similar card has sold at this point, right? And it's probably easily double or triple the price you paid at that show, is my guess.
It's just like we bought that Watson Sapphire, one of, God, it's sad now. I can't remember the number, but like the auto, like buy it when it's down, then we actually all planned on it's going to be next year. Like 23 will be the year he can be a full-time starter. And then if he ever makes it, one of, God, is it 300 or 3,000 autos? So I think it's 300 or 5. It's a low number. So it's, but because we never want to hang on to it. It's just, flip to get somebody that you actually like, or the card that you want. Because I know he was always big on like 84 tops. And I'm like, man, it's so hard to get those cut. And like,
so what card
do
you want? What card do you want that you're just, value doesn't matter? You're not gonna, flipping doesn't matter. You just want the card because you like the player, you like everything about him. You like, I mean, what's your, I want that. What's your fucking,
what's your
G.I. Joe? What's your aircraft carrier? What's your G.I. Joe aircraft carrier? Your Millennium Falcon? What's your, card?
Probably the 48 leaf Robinson. I mean, I know everyone gets like the 49 Bowman, but the 48 leaf was before that, and I think that's like, having first Jackie Robinson card, like the Brooklyn Dodgers, the bums, like, because I love like Carl Erskine and just Bronco, like that whole thing about the Dodgers, the boys of summer. So I have my stack of Gil Hodges cards. Like Pee Wee Reese. I don't like having the 48 Jackie Robinson card. I think that'd be a great card to have.
I'd like to
about
own a
you?
logo man one day, like a logo man.
A
Wow.
logo, man. What is
Yeah.
that? I'm unfamiliar.
Yeah.
So like,
Can you show?
yeah. Let me pull up a picture.
They are pretty.
Yeah, I
What
mean
is
they go
that?
for like 6 figures sometimes.
they're
You know what I mean, depending on the
big time.
player. So,
So there's multiple. It's not just the one card. It's
well,
like there's
it's one
multiples
for,
of
like,
different.
one
that
per
player?
Usually it's one for a player, right? Where there's
Oh,
one
okay.
of one. So, like there's only one of existence in this set. But sometimes
Okay.
they do like something, where it's like, oh, there's a vertical version, there's a horizontal version, then there's like a dual one where it's like that player with another player.
Sure,
you know? So
So is there any one player of the logo man that you wanted, or is
I mean-
it just any of them?
honestly, like at the prices as they are, I would say anyone, but like obviously would lean towards a Jaw. Like
Okay.
for me, it doesn't even have to be his rookie year, because I know everyone would chase after the rookie year, and then to me, I think I would go for either like something that you could pull out of like what Immaculate. I wouldn't even go
National
for
Treasures.
like flawless or
I
yeah,
guess-
or like I would try.
I guess
for,
I
like,
didn't
maybe
know
National-
that Ja Rule played ball. I had to. Sorry.
So you should see like the Jerry West logo. Like I was like, it'd be great if you had a Jerry West logo for a Jerry West card. I mean,
Okay.
they are.
Here you go.
I
So,
think
it
if I was
has-
gonna go for a card that I just purely wanted because of the player, the guy. Oh, okay.
They're
Yeah.
pretty.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
now.
so it's like the logo.
I didn't know that's what they were called.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
look great.
Yeah. So and then like
Oh, those
NFL
are
has a
cool.
shield, and then for baseball they use like the MLB logo, or like even like jersey parts of the logo.
Sure.
Yeah, because I mean, they have hat relics, like all that
Right.
stuff. I've even seen sock relics where they like use the
The
logo.
socks would be cool now because they actually wear different socks. Like they have like the designer socks, like the stand socks,
the
stuff like
stand
that.
socks.
With the
Yeah, and I
cities
and I actually wear stand socks like quite
stands
a
are
bit.
great socks.
Yeah, like because they were originally like a skate company sock,
Mhm.
and so like they're meant to like withstand
Design.
like, the design on them, and then like they're just meant to withstand like you basically like working out in them, right? And then that's what I loved about them, because like their designs are so crazy that you know which socks go with which socks.
I have the Bob Ross stand socks.
Okay,
Happy trees. Happy trees.
Nice.
my-
Nice. Yeah.
my favorites that I have I have the Sriracha.
Oh yeah. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I have the Sriracha ones. I have a pair of the Deadpool like holiday ones where it's like looks like a ugly Christmas sweater or whatever. I have a pair where it's like a Basquiat painting. That one's kind of funny.
Can't hide money.
It's what happens. when you
So
buy-
what if you're talking about the card that you would get?
Oh, geez.
It would probably be a hockey card, huh?
Yeah. I'm so not a card guy, but if
Scott
I
Stevens?
was- No, but that's a good one. I think I'd have to go Hextall, the original,
Oh.
the red and green jersey, Ron Hextall.
I was gonna tell you, if you're getting like the
it's not an
Hextall when they won the
expensive
Stanley
card.
Cup, or when you got the Conn Smythe when they lost the Stanley Cup, like how great would man?
Yeah. I mean, I just always, I've always loved Ron, Hextall.
great.
He
Yeah.
did incredible things. He set the precedence for goalies before Waugh and before Shannon and before a lot of these other
Before
guys.
Mike Vernon beat the shit out of Patrick Waugh.
Keep dreaming. And
I'm not dreaming.
and he just really he set a bar and a precedent
was a
in the
different
NHL
level.
for
Intensity.
goalies, and he was a new style of play. He played out of net. He played way ahead of net. Like
They grabbed that
would-
goalie stick and just swung it and
he would,
sever the nerve. Like
dude,
with the
if you
Oilers.
got
I
in
mean,
his
that
way,
guy was
that
nuts.
guy was brutal, man. He would take his stick. First guy to use a curve stick first guy to score an NHL goal, first goalie to score an NHL goal. I mean, his level was unprecedented. It's an undervalued card. He's an undervalued player for what he did for goalies in the NHL, and I've always really wanted an original card and a jersey. You know, a Ron Hextall jersey.
Hey, Solo, when I said that about him, how good is he? I mean, you're playing the Oilers and their dynasty. Yeah. You lose the cup. You win the Conn Smythe against Gretzky, Lemieux. I mean, you start going down Kevin Lowe.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, all those guys. I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, what does it say about you as a player? Like, that is some feat. If you're talking like, God, it had to be around 86, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Early 80s. And he was early in his career. I mean, you're talking like second, third year.
Yeah.
That he won the Conn Smythe against that lineup with Yari Curry and those guys. I mean, Grant Fuhr. I mean, Bill Ranford was the backup for so many years, and then he wins a Conn Smythe in '90 when they win with no Gretzky, no. I mean, it's really incredible, like how good a player he was, and he was intensity.
Definitely. He was. I mean, he was one of those guys that just, you know, back in the day, old school hockey, you know, that late 70s, early 80s hockey where it was brutal. I mean, it was
the broad sheet, street bullies and stuff.
Yeah, you don't see those guys go down with a leg cramp and cry. That's not happening in hockey, and it doesn't happen in hockey today. But it, you know, before all the rules got changed, and before, I mean, they didn't have face shields, you know, across their eyes. They were out there. Half of them guys would have leather helmets. The goalie mask was a piece of plastic. I mean, Jason. Literally, Friday the 13th.
And then if you had a goalie mask, the guys had like Rod Langway. I remember like in '89. This guy, I'm like, who's this guy with no helmet on? Yeah, he's under the rule. He doesn't have to wear a helmet.
A curved piece of fucking hickory embedded with fiberglass and launching a frozen chuck of rubber at you at 100. Yeah, I mean, it's a fucking slab of granite.
Did you watch those refs
at 106 miles an hour?
Half their ears gone, and they're just blood all over the place. I'm like,
put me in, coach. I'm ready to go.
We gotta win. The ref is back in the next period.
Oh, dude, just that's original hockey. I mean, that's and the only way you're gonna come into that and be the great one is like Gretzky. You're skating to school. That guy skated on fucking a river, up the river to school, put on shoes, went to school, ice skated down the river back home. I mean, you're living every day in your skates to be that next guy. You know what I mean? In that level of fucking just nobody could catch him.
I was telling Brian this, just, you know, there aren't many of us that follow hockey that closely, but when it gets into like the Maple Leafs, for example. So when I lived in New York, everyone I worked with was from Toronto, and they were just so hard Maple Leafs. And it was just like the Cubs. Like, there's just, you know, they can't catch a break. It's just losers. You know, we just always find a way to lose. And I was telling him, like, you know, if there's a way, if Austin Matthews wins a Stanley Cup, you take whatever, I don't know what the best card of his is, sure, like some kind of auto jersey rookie, you'll never be able to afford it because Toronto, the prices they pay just to get into the playoffs. I can't imagine what a Stanley Cup ticket would be in Toronto. I think the cheapest in would be like $5,000.
Oh yeah,
just to get in, worst seat at the top, of the corner.
Sure. Yeah, it's
a different mentality.
Matthews stands a solid chance this year at taking that cup. I mean, they're looking good.
Man.
They are. His numbers are up. Everything about Matthews.
If you get the goaltending
right now
on that
team.
whole,
that they do lack a little in the goal, but their defense is really strong, and it's been helping their goaltender. They're killing it on all fronts, and
I'd love to see him do it.
It could be a Leafs year. As much as I don't want it, it could be a
Leafs
year.
So when I was in New York, there was I'm trying to remember. This was back in there in the is it the World Cup for hockey? I don't
Stanley
remember.
Cup.
It's not the Stanley Cup. It's like whatever oh no, I'm sorry. It was the Olympics, and there was a buddy of mine I played sports with was from Winnipeg, and so I was like, yeah, we'll meet you at this place like on 33rd and 2nd. I mean, everyone there, it wasn't that cold, but it's like if everyone already had all their Canada gear on, like the big puffy jackets, the hoodies, like everyone was dressed like it was 40 below.
Sure.
And they scored. So I think they were playing Japan in the Olympics. They scored 5 goals in the first period. And I mean, I literally thought after like the second goal, the entire place was actually going to collapse. It was so loud. And this is actually, going to an SEC school where Peyton Manning played and
sure.
Being in some pretty loud places. I'm telling you, this place was nuts. I mean, insane. People were just going bonkers that's for Brian. Every goal in this place. I mean, like it didn't, it wasn't about like I'm from Vancouver, I'm from Toronto, or whatever. I'm like this, it was a unified nation. They were going berserk. And I was like, we got to get out of here for this whole place like collapses or catches fire. I'm like, this place is not going to last. Van Diemen's, that was the place in New York. These guys were nuts. I told Jordan, I'm like, dude, I was like, it's first period, it's 5-0. He's like, wait till the third period when Canada wins. The place will go nuts. I'm like, we'll be down the village by then. I was like, we won't make it. I was like, this place is going to burn down. I'm like, everyone's going to be it's going to be like a story on NBC tomorrow morning.
Yeah, no, it's
great though. They love it.
I laugh because I come down here and I'm living in Arizona now, and I laugh for a couple of reasons. One, I've been conditioned now. So my brother was complaining. He's like, "Oh, this weather sucks. It's 17 below, and then there's a negative, 43 wind chill." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know what you mean. This 53 sucks. I'm freezing. I'm dying. It's 53 freaking degrees.
What you used to.
I'm shivering, But and then people down here just they don't get hockey. They don't understand it. Like when I grew up in North Dakota, I mean, you're in preschool, you're in skates. You're getting prepped for hockey. Like it's religion up there, quote unquote. And same with Canada and stuff. And it's a different game up north. And New York gets like that, and Minnesota and Wisconsin and Michigan, and you get that winter sport, and people just, I mean, it's funny how much they don't get it. I remember growing up and watching the 80-81 Olympics when they won against Russia, that the Miracle movie that they made. I remember watching that as a kid with my family, and I mean, we lost our shit. But some of those kids were from UND, and I was living in Grand Forks, North Dakota at the time. A couple of those kids were from the UND hockey team, University of North Dakota, and Fighting Sioux, baby, even though they changed their name. And we watched every game fanatically, and we lost our shit. There was a bunch of Minnesota kids on there, and it was just a bunch of damn kids, and that was amazing. To have that memory and see that is and be able to all the feels in that.
Dude, how underrated movie is that? Miracle is
incredible.
No one never talks about and I love how the aspect they talked about, like, hey, you're taking a lot of like Boston kids and mixing them in with the Minnesota kids, and they don't Michigan mesh because they're
you're taking Minnesota Gophers and putting them on the same team as the UND Fighting Sioux. You're talking two of the biggest rivals in all of NCAA hockey, and somehow you got them to figure out how to be brothers in arms and take on a whole nother foreign country. Like, woo, dog,
I just remember that movie, Herb Brooks, when he just kept again after they lost. They were, I can't remember where they were, and lights are off. again. He just made him just skate
Yeah.
all night long.
Dirt prepping. Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He was like, they can hate me. He's like, that's why you're the assistant coach. That's why we got you. He's like,
Yeah.
they can bitch and moan at you all day long. But he's like, I don't need them to be my friend. He's like, I need a team that can play.
Yeah.
He's like, they can hate me all day long.
Yeah. They loved him in the end, and they were like, boy, thank God
And
he was a hard
early.
ass.
Herb Brooks
God.
died like,
Yeah.
sadly, he died like very early, like 53 or something like that.
Well, when you live in the north, there's not a lot to do when it snows except for drink.
Warm yourself up.
Yeah, pretty much. And that leaves sex and booze. And sometimes that's not necessarily a cohesive lifestyle for longevity. All right, I got a question. What's your most favorite thing you picked up this year? What's the best thing, your most just like, oh my God, I got it thing that you got in 2022?
Oh man,
that's
I'm trying to think of what I bought this year.
I'm actually, I got two things I'm looking at, and I'm like, well, I guess I don't have to look far.
Oh, I bought a Killmonger 2, 1 in 25, 98.
That one?
That was pretty. Yeah, I noticed that yesterday too. So
Joe pressed it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So I know like that cover is notorious for the color rub on the back because it's all black.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, those books are brutal on the back.
Yeah.
So that's your favorite is your Killmonger?
That's what comes to mind for comic wise. I'm trying to think of like if there was a card that I bought. Oh,
I mean, out of everything. Could be a card, could be a comic, could be.
I bought this Blue Flash.
I was waiting for one of these jaw cards because I mean, some of these he's got like are really pretty cards.
Like this is out of 49, so yeah. So I mean, I'm starting to get into the numbered cards now. So that's the lowest.
There are less cards than there are states.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good ratio. I hadn't thought about it that way. That's a good point. What about you, Nate? What's your? Because I'm gonna guess one of two things, but I want to see which one you go with.
Well, you saw this last night, so I'd actually hung up this original art from John Royal, that Snake Eyes. It's a double cover, and so I can't take that down. And he was such a nice guy and easy to deal with. Like, I hate seeing that G.I. Joe's ending. It's sad. Like the G.I. Joe story is absolutely awful. It hasn't changed since Larry issue 10 with Larry Hama and Dr. Venom, and the everything's just terrible about it. The only thing good about it is the 1 in 10 variants that John Royal does.
Well, and then you got your Galactus in too from
yeah.
I thought for sure you'd either go with
this is it.
That's what I really thought you were gonna go with right there.
Because I was like, I got my two favorite pieces right in front of me, and having the Cobra Commander, like I'd wanted the Mickey Mouse, but I like the way it was set up with the presentation of like having the box, file card, and I mean, I remember getting these and like everything that you bought, the Howl, the Whirlwind, the Jump, everything, the Vamp, the Mombat, the APC, it came in every little piece, and I love Flash. I still don't have him. I really want to get him next year at some point, but this was definitely, I think, and the fact that it's a 90 and uncirculated, I'm like, that's crazy. I was like, I've been taking a 40 just to have it like in that display.
Yeah, I thought you'd either go with that or your Boba Fett.
Yeah, that one.
I figured you'd go with that. And that's a good one, man. The way that's all there, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Yeah.
The funny part is, so I gave Yee something last night.
I still have 20 more Jaws to collect.
How many do you have? Like 80? I mean, are there like 100?
Dude, I just counted through all the ones I don't have. Like, because I'm looking at that Beckett thing, Lord. And that's just only counting one of one. There's like 20 more for me to still collect, including the Yeah.
So
But I
Solo,
mean-
can I tell you what my hope is for next year?
Yeah, let's hear it.
That Darth Maul lightsaber and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or the books that you sent me. We'll just get them all in one package. I'll send it to you.
And all the
Stuff
Darth
the year off
Maul
right.
and
Well-
the Darth Maul set that I have.
What's your favorite
Action
pickup?
figure.
What's your favorite pickup of the year?
Yeah.
Easily by far my 4-color creation.
Oh yeah. Those are really cool.
Hands down, no doubt about it. This thing is,
Dude, that is a sick cover.
dude,
Oh,
it
that
is
is
on
sick.
point. It is the 4-color creation is just
What
fucking
kind of
mind blowing, dude. It is so incredibly badass. I love this cover. I always have. I love the skull spider.
is it like
and this-
metal or foil or
It's wood.
No, it's wood. It's
Yeah,
laser
I was
etched
trying to
wood.
figure out exactly what that.
And-
Yeah,
and look, it's 3D. Like he's got it cut and layered. So the hands sit on top of the back one. The spider.
oh my
sits
god!
on
Yeah, I
the
see
top
exactly what you're talking about.
of
That's
the back.
that's
It
beautiful.
is- yeah,
That's awesome.
I mean, it's
Oh my,
Yeah.
that is awesome.
it is by far. The camera won't pick it up. It doesn't do it
It doesn't do
justice at all.
justice.
But and because everywhere it's etched, like right here. I mean, this is burned out. All this right here is like burned deeper than the surface, like right here.
For the wood to
is
make
the
it actually
wood.
look like it's burnt, kind of like
It is so 3-dimensional that the camera won't pick it up.
that's
Seeing
cool.
it in person
crazy.
is I can't tell
Insane.
you how fucking cool this thing is. And I've always loved this cover. Like I said, this Adam's cover is just I've always loved it. It's amazing. It's easy, it's affordable. They're hard to find in good grade. Love the book. But
I wish it's funny. Like when
this
you went back and
makes
got
it.
those, they're right behind you, but you can't see it.
yeah.
Yeah,
They're amazing. I love them.
Oh man. I don't know how I'm gonna get these last like 20 like draw cards like at all. Because like there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 gold ones that are out of 10, which I assume that's like easily like $3 to $5 if they've been all found, which I don't know if that's happened.
Oh, Merry Christmas there, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's 1 o'clock. I guess Eastern. But,
Oh,
It's
it is
11. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, I forgot you're on the Arizona time where
all the
they
different
don't
time
play
zones.
by. I never
They
know
don't
what time
change
it
time
is.
zones there.
I have to Google search every time like what time it actually is in Arizona before I text like Brian or any of the people over at Bird City. Like it's like, is this a reasonable time to send them a message? Like I don't know what time it is there.
Are
Like-
you the same time or are you an hour ahead now or an hour back? Or are you wait a
Are
minute?
you
What
2
time
hours?
of year is it?
Yeah, it's like are you 3 hours behind us? Are you 2 hours behind us? Like I don't know what time it is there.
Right. Yeah, it's and the fact that we're like one of 2 states that don't change our time because
Do you know the other state that doesn't change time zones?
isn't it Hawaii?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
There actually used to be there. I thought Indiana for a while, or there was someone.
There was someone that
um,
was like gonna vote on it soon.
They actually had changed. Like they weren't doing it, but it didn't. Hasn't gone through. But Arizona and Hawaii are the only ones that actually do it now. It's almost
They just need to do it across the board and stop.
They do.
Stop. Like
They do.
honestly, like how many people are still farming? You know what I mean? Like I remember like.
Well, and that's
But I remember like when I was getting out of high school, like
that was like 3 years ago.
They were paying farmers not to grow, right? That that probably was only like 4 years ago. Because that's why I
They,
work in the
they
college.
still pay farmers not to grow and not to use their crops and not to farm their land and stuff. They still do that.
Right.
There is a huge common misconception that the time zone changes of twice a year was to help the farmers to make their days longer. I'm here to tell you,
This is
I know that's bullshit because they've gone through and they've explained it 100 times. There's all kinds of stuff that you can look up and they explain why that isn't how it started or any of that. And two,
it was mainly
I'm
for
here
trade
to tell you that farmers don't give a fuck. They will get up because if there's shit to do, they will get up, they will go do their work, and then when the sun goes down, they will
They'll
still do their
do their
work.
work,
Like they will get up and then the sun will come up. Like the time of day just it doesn't matter anymore, especially now. Back before they had the technology of lighting and electricity and all that shit, it did help them a little bit, but it wasn't it wasn't even
I thought it
a
was
thing
mainly
back then.
I thought it was mainly for like trains and stuff like that.
So some of it
Oh
was
wait, that's time zones. Never mind.
yeah, and
That's
some
something
of it,
different.
some of it was to help with just daily production
Yeah.
of just to try and get more of a cohesive daily production out of manufacturing plants and blah blah blah, and reducing car wrecks and blah 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 to whatever. But in the end, with today's technology, it's a moot point, and it should just go to one thing and stay that one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because farmers, they don't give two shits. I'm here to tell you, spending all my summers on a farm as a child growing up, farmers get up in the morning before the sun and they quit work when long after the sun's already gone down. Doesn't matter the time of year. It's just the way that a farmer works.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get 9 to 5 on a farm.
Well, it sounds like my job because, like, there's always someone on the internet on campus.
Yeah, exactly. And again, with today's technologies, it's a moot point anymore in every industry as far as the time zone change is concerned. I don't think it's helping anybody. In fact, I think it actually is shown and proven to be more of a hindrance for the nation than it has anything else.
Yeah. Well, we just need to vote on it already, so it stops happening.
Well,
but I know
yeah.
going through all that red tape, it's like like
Yeah.
something simple as that, like
Yeah, and then there's always going to be the one Karen in the crowd that's like, no, I think we should leave it. And she's going to
it's
have
tradition.
the biggest,
It-
here comes the biggest, loudest voice of all stupidity. And they seem to win because everyone else is like, whatever. I'll keep doing what I got to do.
Well, it's kind of like one of those things like, well, if I can't win in life, I'm going to win at this argument. at any cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And their last name might be Wookiee. It sounds like my family. I'll win this argument, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
do you have big plans for tomorrow?
I actually don't know. Oh wait! I think I'm meeting with my extended family, like at as stereotypical as it sounds, at a Chinese restaurant. So
that'll be good though. That's good. No one have to cook and
yeah. Like, and I don't think I've seen my full extended family in it's probably been like 2 years.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah. Or no, it hasn't been that long. I think it's been only like a year. It's only been like a year, about, give or take.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So sometimes it's it's either really entertaining or it's
shit show.
Yeah, or it's a shit show. Yeah. So I'll be so stoned it doesn't matter. So
yeah.
I'll just
You
be
know?
there, like like, oh, there's all this great food on the table. Oh,
Sure. Yeah.
yep,
No, I have spent a great many of Christmases that way.
yeah. It's just easiest to get the time to fly by,
Sure.
and then
No, I
sometimes
feel you.
they'll serve you good wine. So that's always like
Now, are
that's what I
you
look.
okay? So, are you a rice wine guy or a plum wine or what?
Just
What is your
whatever they throw in front of us. So like
your?
usually usually some like I
Oh, maybe you're a sake guy.
no, not really. Because like what is it, like some of my cousins, they have like wine cellars and all that shit, so they
Okay.
actually do like go into the
Oh, they're full grape, like vintage, like oh, this
yeah,
thing was
yeah we're,
1965.
see, I don't think they go into like vintage bottles and stuff as that, as more of like somewhere in like the mid 2010s or something like that, or
Sure.
stuff like that. So like they're not huge into that. They just have the money to do that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Like I think like one of my cousins, he his dad owns like like a Bentley or some shit like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've always wanted to be like, can I just like take it around the block like just once? Like I just want to say I've knocked this off my bucket list thing where I got to drive a Bentley.
My family knows better because I'm that guy. I'm like, well, can I drive it? Because I mean, you grow up on a farm, you're driving everything. You're driving tractors, you're driving trucks, you're driving RVs, you're driving, all my
Yeah.
bosses over the years have been like, well, hey, do you think you can drive that? Whether it be, the backhoe, the trencher, the auger, the sneaker, the, pipe puller, the whatever. And so I'm, worked at a Ford dealership for a while, driving cars all the time. But I'm that guy that I get in, hey, can I drive your Bentley around the block? Like I have no problem driving anything.
Right.
And I get in, it, I turn it over and immediately do a huge burnout. And then go around the block and bring it back and be like, man, that's a pretty nice car. And of course they're pissed. They're like, we'll never let you drive anything again. And you son of a bitch. And it's like, yeah, but like that car's made for those things. Like you got to use your car. If you're not using your car, go park it in your garage and look at it and rub it with a diaper, you big sissy.
Right, exactly. Like I just want to drive it at least once. Like,
Sure.
like I don't care like if I have to drive them home or anything like that. Like I just want the experience, like, dude, I got to fucking drive a Bentley,
Yeah.
But yeah. But I'm not like super close with my family.
Well, that's even better because then if you wreck it, it's like, well, it's not like we're close anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, see you at the next family function, whatever that is.
Yeah. No, there's only one car that I don't violate like that, and it's because it's got a lot of history and real special meaning. One of my best friends, 1970 Roadrunner, with a 440 in it, and it's a fun car. I've drove it. I just am not. I don't violate it like I do some other cars.
Am I getting a tumor or do I hear sleigh bells?
It sounds like sleigh bells and reindeer, don't it?
Or is it a tumor? It's probably a tumor.
It's not a tumor. Was that Nate or
it's probably Santa Claus.
Is that Santa? Old Saint Nick?
So.
I can hear it.
Yep.
The sleigh bells jingling and ring, ring, ringing and ring.
Dun, dun, dun.
I hate Christmas music.
Yeah, I know. I do too.
I despise. Okay, so what is your favorite Christmas song?
What's the one that Willie Nelson sings? Mom got ran over by a reindeer, right?
Yeah, I think he has a version of that.
Yeah, that's always a pretty good classic, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't originally do it.
Oh, I know he didn't
I think
originally write it, but I think he did a rendition of it.
Yeah, it does a rendition, I believe.
Yeah. How about you? Do you have a favorite, or one that you can tolerate? You should say.
I'm trying to think. I'm torn. This is gonna throw a lot of people. They're gonna be like, "What the hell's wrong with that guy?" I am torn between like the Little Drummer Boy, but there's a version of the Little Drummer Boy that's like very for lack of a better word, it's almost got like a demonic feel to it. Like it's almost it borders that scary, eerie kind of feel to it. You know what I mean? Like it's a little creepy. And but I really love the Wham Christmas song. Freaking
the dun, 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 right? The guitar,
yeah,
with all that the guitar,
yeah. Wham did that just out of the blue that Christmas song, and I've always really enjoyed that one, and thought it was really good. Like I again, I'm not a big Christmas guy, but I think that's the one.
Oh, do you remember the group, the Waitresses?
The Waitresses.
I know what boys like. Bam,
Oh
bam.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they did a Christmas album.
Oh God.
And then this is the greatest part, though. There's subliminal messages on the record. So like if you play it backwards, like it actually has like all this demonic stuff onto it. It's what. Like, and it's like on the LP cover where it's like, warning, if you play this record backwards, there are subliminal messaging into this record. And then like all the stuff in there is like consume. You will go to our shopping malls and buy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I'm changing my answer. That's one of my favorite Christmas records.
That's your favorite. King Diamond did an album called No Presents for Christmas that was pretty good. I did enjoy that one.
Oh, Crass did a punk Christmas record, 7-inch.
Yep, I do remember that.
Yeah, so that's super trippy to listen to on Christmas.
Okay. How many? Let's do some little trivia. How many grooves does every vinyl record have?
It's one, isn't it?
Yep. One.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's how the needle travels.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Astro Wizard, what's happening?
Do you know what's funny? I have a record that actually plays in reverse, where you start it on the inside and then it goes to the outside.
Yeah, that's the White Stripes, isn't it?
So
the White Stripes are.
I'm sure they have a record that does that, but the one I have is not that group.
So the White Stripes are the only band in recorded history to have an LP that has two grooves, because you have to put it on the inside and it plays backwards for one of the songs.
Oh, okay.
And all the other songs, have the one groove going in, but then you have to lift it and put it on the inside, and it goes backwards to play the one song.
Oh, he ran out of beer, and so he had to go grab more 6-packs or whatever. Is that right?
You're on.
I had to take a little, start kind of getting things set up.
Oh, okay. You had to take the bite out of the cookie.
Oh, that was done 2 hours ago.
Take the bite. I ate the whole damn cookie.
Well, the thing is, like, we got, someone had sent like the crumble cookies, and someone sent like a box of Tiff treats, and Anna's. I don't know if you saw last night, like she makes she makes beautiful cookies. Like,
did she make the gingerbread cookies?
And the sugar, like she decorated all that stuff. I'm like, her cookies are incredible. Those were like, people don't want to eat them because they look so nice.
I was like kind of like, because I was like towards there at the end, I was like kind of like,
Yeah,
I was like, do I eat this? I was like, do I just like stare at it? Like I'm not sure. And then
they're really pretty, and so
it's really
she's
good
big on
too.
making the cookies for Santa, which I'm, only need 2 or 3. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd have had my fill of those a little bit earlier.
So I did this before. Have you had crumble cookie before?
Not until I moved here, and they're great.
Yeah. So like I had my first experience with crumble cookie like maybe like a month ago or something like that, and I was like kind of like, oh, I've never heard of this, and then I went there once, paid for the cookies. I was like holy shit though, like for 5 cookies it's like 20
They are
bucks.
huge.
But they're huge. They are huge.
They're Texas.
Yeah, they're Texas size. So
Solo, who is that?
That's Lucy. Lucy Lou.
Pretty.
Lucy Fur is her actual real name.
That's a pretty dog.
what's a crumble? So a crumble cookie, it's this like chain, this cookie chain, and every week they have like 5 different cookies on their menu, and it changes weekly. But there's always like one that's consistent, which is like what, the chocolate chip, I think, right? You can get that every week. And then everything else, it changes weekly. I think like a single, if you just went in there and bought like a single cookie, it's like what, $6 or something like that. And it's like anywhere else, like, the more you buy, the cheaper.
I think you get like 5 for 20 or something like that.
Yeah, it's like 5.
I've never done. Anna was out of town, so I was trying to keep Alex like, hey, not mom sick, and so I was like, you want to get cookies? I'm like, yeah. And I was like, I see this crumble cookie place, and the cookies are the size of his head. I mean, they're huge.
Yeah. I gotta look at what this week's menu is.
I don't know if you guys ever watched Octonauts on Netflix, but great show.
Which one?
They're all they're 15-minute episodes, and they're in the ocean, and I've never learned more about like the ocean and like different animals ever in my entire life. Yeah, it's crazy.
They have Snickerdoodle this week.
I told Anna last night, I was like, someone had sent her the Snickerdoodle. I was like, I never had a Snickerdoodle till like a couple of years ago, and she does. Are you American? I'm like, yeah, it's questionable. I'm like, I get that. I understand the concept of the question. I was like, yeah. I was like, small town.
Oh,
yeah, we used
red velvet, white chip. Oh, that sounds good too.
We used to make, when my mom was alive, fuck cancer, we would make Pacellis every year. And that was a tradition since we lived in North Dakota. She had a friend that made
Pacellis? Sounds good.
They're an Italian waffle cookie. So they're really thin. And you have to have an iron. And you put them in there. They have, anise and vanilla and stuff in them. And you press it. There's 2 of them. And they're a lot like what you eat for a waffle cone, for like an ice cream waffle cone. They're like that, but they're a little bit different. Real similar to that. And you sprinkle, powdered sugar on the tops of them, and you eat them. Dude,
awesome.
You make yourself sick because you eat one and you're like, oh my God. And then before you know it, about
can you give them up north?
75 later, you're like, okay. I think I overdid it.
I was okay on 60, but 61 was the one that got me.
61 is woo, that's 61.
Do they sell them up north? Like, can you go and like get Pacellis?
Sure, you can. Every now and then you can find them in the grocery stores down here in Arizona and Texas Phoenix? And everything. Yeah, they finally have started kind of. It's become more popular or more well known throughout the years, but they're
so it's like my people's moonshine. It just kind of finds its way into other people's living.
Finally the rest of the world is like, damn, that ain't half bad. We should market that and sell it to the rest of the world. And then the rest of the world's like, damn, that is good.
Did you guys ever watch Moonshiners on I guess it was the History Channel back then?
Yeah.
It was like a long time ago.
That show was awesome.
So all right, so let me ask you this. So
they messed up. Remind me, and I'll tell you what they did that was wrong in that show. They left something out that would have made that show a worldwide phenomenon.
Astro Wizard's got all the stuff over here. He's just killing it. So let me ask you that so we were watching this. So when it first came out, everyone like, oh, moonshine. Like the thing was like, my buddies, wherever, they would get moonshine, and you have your bottle and your little. It was an apple jar of moonshine, whatever it was, but it had flavors like apple, peach, stuff like that. It tasted good. If you had white lightning, like just fire, it's what you'd have like for your car.
Yeah.
But when they came out with the Moonshiner series, I remember coming home for Christmas one year, and one of the guys, as Brian, is like, "Have you watched that?" I'm like, "Yeah." He does. I gotta tell you, man, some of those scenes are like 20 miles from here and 40 miles from here. And he's like, the fact they have subtitles is a little insulting. I'm like, yeah, I understand everything they're saying. And I told him, I was like, the funny part was I had the same conversation with the guy who's on my team, who's Armenian from Boston. And he told me, he's like, thank God they had those subtitles. I had no idea what these guys were saying. I'm like, get out of here, man. Seriously? He does, dude, no one can understand it. I'm like, yeah, they can. And then I talked to another guy who actually we reported to. He does, oh, I'm just glad those rednecks got those subtitles. He's like, who would understand what they're saying? I'm like, you guys talk to me every day. I'm basically in between this group and this group where I live. And they're like, yeah, well, yeah, we don't understand you half the time either. I'm like, I was like, well, we'll put some subtitles in. We just couldn't get over like they needed subtitles for guys from North Carolina. So, yeah. But I was like, funny. I was like, maybe. And then we started talking about it a little bit more. And I was talking to my dad. I'm like, I was like, if you grow up here, yellow is automatically an ER. Like, yeah, I'll take those yellow pillars. Yellow pillows. Yeah. Yellow. Give me a pair of them yellow pillars over there. And like, just stuff like that. Just kind of like, I'm like, yeah, well, okay, all right, maybe a little bit. So,
So if they, and I'm not sure how they would have done it, but post-production, if they'd have gone in and they would have hid in the background a General Lee getting chased by a cop car in every episode, and like you had to watch the episode to find it in there, that show would have it's like the Where's Waldo of fucking like moonshine running. Like they would have been a national, like the Playboy covers. Like you got to find the bunny, because the bunny's on every cover and it's hidden in every single
I'll give
cover.
you a crazy thing about the General Lee. So there was if you ever the coaxial cable that goes back into the TVs.
Yeah. RG.
So there was a guy I grew up with. His name was Matt Drindle, and his dad owned a company called CommScope, and CommScope was the one who actually makes the coaxial cable.
Right.
He lived a couple blocks down the street. He had an original General Lee.
Nice.
Oh,
and
wow.
every once in a while, you'd see the General Lee coming down.
Yeah.
Crazy part is, we're talking about like kind of how old we are, same age. He passed away. God, it had to be like 15 years ago. Just randomly, boom. Like, I think it was a brain tumor or something like I can't remember if it was like
hemorrhage or something.
Something like overnight,
Stroke.
boom, gone. Like 35, like you've got like the kind of like the world at your you got everything you want. And it's like wow, it's just nuts. Like, but I mean, I remember seeing that General Lee, like just you see it every once in a while come down. I'm like, I asked somebody like, whose is that? And they were like, I was like, okay, yep, I get it.
Well,
because he had 8 garages. I'm like, one. Yeah.
Did they actually? Were the doors actually like?
Welded
shut. Yeah.
So you had to go through the window.
You had to go through the door. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, there's actually quite a few of those that are in the world. They're just
they're only
most
so
of them are destroyed and not because they had like God, what do they have? 180 or something like it. So they had a ridiculous number of them that were just jump cars that they would, and then they had like another 20 or something like that, 10 or 20 that they just used for like still shots and like certain position shots. And then out of those 10 or 20, they had like I think 5 of them or something that they would. There was no motor, there was nothing in them, but they would always have
as a shell.
They were like when they converted the General Lee into a 4x4 and they had the big giant 35s underneath it. There was no motor or anything in that. They took one and then they jacked it up and had it in the stills and did all the
I don't know if like being in a small town, they would have the I don't want to say the circus, but they'd have like a little bit like a fair kind of come in. Sure. And I remember there was it sounds so stupid, but like when you're a kid, you love the Dukes of Hazzard. They had this pillow and it had Dukes of Hazzard. And it had Bo and Lou and Daisy, everybody on it. Right. And I was like, God, I want that pillow. You're a kid. I was like, I want that pillow. And there was this little train, and you put a quarter on it, and if you hit you hit, and if it came back and it landed in like the spot where the quarter was, you won a prize. And you could pick whatever you want. And my mom, being the Southern Belle, she's like, I can't believe we're doing this. But she was like, she did it. And I mean, bless her heart, man, she did it for like, it was quite a while. Even when I was a kid, I was like, I just remember like seeing like her go back to her purse like multiple times. Yeah. And at one time she was like, it landed on this. She's like, we won. And the guy was like, no. And I remember she just let this guy have it. And he's like, no. He's like, no, you don't get it. You don't get it. And he was just, and I felt like we were there for a long time. She worked so hard to get it and never got it. And I didn't get upset, but she's like, I tried. I'm sorry. I was like, and you could feel like she's like, as much as I didn't want to go home with this thing, I really want to go home with this thing. Like this pillow.
Does anyone remember the Dukes?
It was
cartoon?
Terrible.
I don't remember that cartoon.
Terrible.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. But that was probably.
I remember Coy and Vance, the cousins, taking over for Bo and Luke, which was bad enough.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the old, hey, we want more money because this is a huge success. Well, we're not going to give you more money. We can put anyone in here and they'll be a hit. Oh, I guess we can't. Hey, can you get that Bo and Luke back? Oh, I guess we destroyed our brand name already. Well, that sucked. We were going to make money.
Here's the difference between the age.
You just have to hire Johnny Knoxville to play one of the characters, right?
Yeah, right.
No, I love Johnny Knoxville. He's awesome.
If you ever get a chance,
I think he went to Halls or Doyle. Where'd he go? I think he went to Halls High School in Knoxville.
If you ever get a chance and you go to Nashville, Tennessee,
I've been there.
And across the street from the Grand Ole Opry is a Dukes of Hazzard museum.
Okay.
One of I think 3 in the country.
Aaron, why don't you ask my wife that? She's from Nashville.
Yeah, it's owned by well, he passed away now, but the old sheriff or whatever his name was, Cooter's Garage.
Cooter,
and yeah,
so dipstick.
Yeah, he actually owned it. So I've been there and I've seen it. They have a room that's all sealed off and it's just all Dukes of Hazzard.
You are gonna love this. So Roscoe is from
everything.
He's from my hometown, and if you go to the local, like a little diner for breakfast, they sold Roscoe and Flash autographed prints. And so, like, Roscoe would actually be at a diner somewhere else, and people ask for autograph. He goes, "Go to Joel's Kitchen. They have them for sale for $8." Yeah. And when we lived in Providence, my parents sent me one, or my dad sent one, loving the Dukes of Hazzard. And this girl on my team, she came to the house. And we were having a little Christmas party. She goes, "Is that your dad?" I'm like, I was like, wow.
That's how you know she was too young for you.
Yeah, I was like, that would be an honor. I was like, to have Roscoe as, and have Flash as part of the family.
Yeah, no, that museum's really, really cool. In fact, I got
I didn't know about
sticker
that.
on one of my boxes, and some of the coolest stuff. That little room is everything Dukes of Hazzard. The toys, the models, they have a rug. They have the curtains on the window that's in that room is Dukes of Hazzard. The bed sheets, the comforter, the pillowcase, everything in that fucking room, like the board game, the Dukes of Hazzard Monopoly board game.
I just always loved like how does Daisy was it Enos?
Yeah.
I was like, Enos, you dipstick. I mean, oh my god, what a great show.
Yeah, great show.
It was,
but
man.
that Moonshine show, if they'd have just hid a little generally and a cop car behind it
or at least episode, or at least a honk, the horn honk or something like that.
Yeah,
them Duke boys are
at
it
had
again.
The horns on Boss Hogg's car.
Yeah,
the old Cadillac,
the old steer horns. Yeah. So in that museum, they had signed Jeep, Daisy's Jeep. They had 3 of the cop cars that were signed by everybody. They had a General Lee, which I got to sit in. They had Cooter's tow truck, which I got to sit in.
Yeah.
They got what else did they have? Yeah, I got a picture of me and the standee of Daisy and all kinds of stuff. I'll have to send you the pictures. It's fun.
Well,
it was good.
I hate to do this, you guys. I need to run off because I need to make sure to set up everything.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we're at that 3-hour mark right now anyways. But before we go, does anyone have any, I guess, pickups or early Christmas gifts or anything like that? I mean, I showed mine earlier, so. Oh, what I am excited about though is, so my coworker had given me like 8,000 Panini points, and I'm gonna spend 5,000 of them coming up like right after Christmas, because they're gonna have 21, 22 white sparkle packs on the Panini website.
You said you're getting one. You can get one sparkle pack.
I'm getting one sparkle pack. I have 5,500 points in my account right now, and I'm going to spend 5,000.
One pack is how many? 3,000?
5,000 points.
5,000.
Yeah, which roughly translates to about like $500. Like if you bought all the points online.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I mean, I got the points for free, so
yeah,
awesome.
You're
That's
good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, because like I'd rather have that than anything else that. Like, because what am I gonna do with like 2 packs of Donruss UFC white spark packs or something like that?
Yeah, sure. No, makes sense.
Yeah, because I missed the Prism that dropped. I don't even know when that dropped. But all right, yeah, we can call it quits here. So,
well, happy Christmas. Holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We should see you right on and or around New Year's. I think there's going to be a big show New Year's night. I think everyone's going to kind of try and pop in for a little bit, and I'm sure that should create some insanity and chaos to ensue.
Yeah, it'll probably be way more organized than what this episode was, because we just kind of jumped on and was like hey, why not?
It was fun.
Yeah.
Chatting with the fellas.
Yep. All right.
That's it. Solo, I'm gonna hit you up on the turtles and the lightsaber.
Yeah,
because I know your number on the turtles spot on. Is just about sending you the money, but I was just like, gotta.
I'll hit you because I'll get the other cards and stuff and show you pictures and everything too. The other, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna play the outro.
Still waiting on that heifer, Julio. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. You're cool. You're cool. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.